Baby, we should get back to that. Yersk. What's the word, man? YouTubians, Jimmy Gang, man. Squad, what's the word, man? How we feeling, boys? We back on this nasty, man. We back in this thing like cook back in this thing. Yerk. But look, man. What we getting into, man? Oh, we got I was watching this Versus, man. I'm trying to listen for Sweet Lady, man.
About a woman who comes into your life and just changes things. You know what I'm saying? And just
what's this? Let's see. Real quick. Let's tap in real quick. Let's see what you talking about.
Gives you a better perspective on life, love, health, all of these things. It's beautiful.
Nah, you know what? What is it? Tank. Baby, I deserve. That's the hit from Tank right there. When he played that, the room going up. Tank. I deserve for you to do things I do to you, baby. I deserve. Ooh, yeah. I ain't even go. This right here is a hit. This is a hit.
Do you mind if I tell the truth for a second, y'all?
Do you mind if I tell the truth for a second, y'all?
Hey. No.
Baby, I deserve.
Baby, I deserve to wonder who's calling so damn late.
I ain't gonna play this because they're gonna copyright the hell out of me, but bro, that's the joint right there. Alright, let me tap in, bro. New Orleans Deadliest Games. What's that word? Let's tap in with your boy over here. Let's pull him up. Deserve. Baby, I deserve for you do all the things I did to you. Baby, I deserve. Alright, anyway. Let's tap in real quick, man. We about to get into this New Orleans Deadliest Game Wars. I ain't gonna front though. This the I deserve is a hit, bro. This is a hit.
For you to say I'm tripping, just a homie from upstate. Said it's just a homie. Don't he know it's 1 o'clock in the morning?
It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Let a nigga call my bitch phone at 1 o'clock in the morning. Nigga, you gonna die. Nigga, you gonna die. In GTA. Nigga, you gonna die. But let's tap it real quick, man. New Orleans Deadliest Gangs. I was keeping up with the verses, but I was listening for Sweet Lady. I was trying to hear Sweet Lady before I jumped off that nasty, but it's all good. Now let's tap in right now. New Orleans Deadliest Gangs, man. What up? Shout out to Trap.
I'm here in Holly Grove, one of the most infamous neighborhoods in New Orleans, and also the place that birthed arguably the greatest rapper to ever live, in my opinion, Lil Wayne. But unfortunately for the young rappers that are growing up in New Orleans,
best rapper alive.
Today, the streets are dangerous and treacherous. And for a lot of people, there's a fine line between making it as a gangster rapper and falling victim to the streets as a gangster. So in this video, I'm going to break down to you some of the most important people coming out of the city, some of the people that made it, some of the people that didn't, and give you all of the history of some of the most dangerous places in the city to be a rapper.
Okay,
New Orleans is widely recognized.
My boy flew out to New Orleans for the doc. I respect it.
As one of the top tourist destinations in America. It's famous for its unique architecture that blends European, French, Spanish, and American influences in its iconic French Quarter. It's got an infamous music scene, and it's the city that really put jazz on the map. And its world-class food brings together tastes from France, Spain, Vietnam, and all over the world, including Africa, making for some of the most delicious meals I personally have experienced. But that's not the reason why I decided to travel to New Orleans. No, the reason I went there is because under the surface of the culture, New Orleans for years has had a dark reputation as one of the most violent and deadly cities in America.
Tonight, New Orleans is a city in crisis.
Police are looking for leads. Extremely violent crime wave.
The teenage boy is now dead.
Shot and killed overnight.
Dubbed the murder capital of the country.
They got us all again. They got you too. They almost killed me.
But unlike some of the other cities often ranked amongst the most dangerous in America, like Detroit, Memphis, and of course the capital of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, New Orleans in recent years hasn't seen many gangster rappers making it out of the streets. Decades ago, the city was famous for all of the rappers that came out of the streets there, from Master P, Soulja Slim, Juvenile, Birdman, and of course possibly the greatest rapper of all time, Lil Wayne. And today the city has no shortage of street rappers who are both lyrically talented and with gritty backstories. Some of the most exciting street rappers coming out of the city being being as young as 15 years old. But because of that harsh environment they're growing up in, a lot of these artists are often living extremely dangerous lifestyles at a very young age. And unfortunately, that means in recent years, some of the most promising rappers coming out of New Orleans pretty much end up dead or in jail before they ever even have the chance to truly break into the gangster rap game, let alone actual adulthood. So in this video, I'm going to be deep diving into the New Orleans rap and drill scene and uncovering some of the unknown and tragic stories of some of the city's most promising rappers who were unfortunately caught up in some of the deadliest gang wars that New Orleans and America has seen in decades. So every rapper needs a music video, but not everyone has the budget or the time or the creativity to create a music video that's always going to do numbers. Now, a lot of rappers have told me that they've been waiting for the day that they could use AI to completely take over their music video production needs. And today I'm very excited.
I'm meant to film a music video in New Orleans. Watch until to drama lounge.
I'm not responsible for third-party information. If you want to watch my videos uncut and extended, go to Patreon. Drop motion in the music game. I'm here and visited the hood of one of the most promising rappers New Orleans has seen in recent years, Bash Out Teddy. I'm here in the 7th Ward, home to a crew known as the Loyal Brothers, who are getting some serious motion in the music game, even being co-signed by Louisiana's most popping artist in this generation, NBA Youngboy. And for a minute, their most promising artist, Bash Out Teddy, was looking like he might actually be able to get to the top of the music game. But unfortunately, it seemed like his antics in the street would end up cutting that short. From allegedly wearing the same outfit on a drill as he wore in a music video to ultimately catching a serious murder charge, his story is unfortunately an example of just how quickly things can go left in the streets of New Orleans. So to truly understand how this story unfolds,
I respect it, dog. He popped out to New Orleans. He ain't pop out to Chirac, Chicago, LA, none of them other places for none of his other videos. So this is him trying to switch it up. I rock with that.
we've got to go all the way back to the beginning, to Teddy's childhood and a traumatic experience that sent him down an extremely dark path in life at a very young age. Because in 2009, when Teddy was just 5 years old, his big brother James was brutally murdered at just age 15. He was allegedly stabbed 49 times by his friends who accused him of stealing a gun. They would leave his lifeless body at an abandoned house where his mother would later find him. Over a decade later, in January 2023, one of his alleged killers was granted a retrial, but he would ultimately end up pleading guilty to one count of accessory after the fact and was ultimately released after receiving credit for time already served. Teddy, on the other hand, even as a child, was already deeply invested into the streets. But before we get to what happened in the streets, we've got to talk about Teddy's talent in the rap game. It seems like he started rapping around 2019 when he was only 15 years old, when he and his friends would begin to release songs on SoundCloud. These were already filled with very concerning lyrics that pointed to Teddy and his friends being deep in the streets, despite not even being old enough to buy cigarettes. Their first song, Blame Us, was all about Teddy and his friends rapping how they're the ones that get blamed for the homicides in the city. The crew began to call themselves the Loyal Brothers, or LB, with the crew's name having a double meaning for both their music collective and an alleged street gang based mainly in the infamous 7th Ward, one of the most dangerous areas of the city. Coming into 2020, Teddy would also begin to drop music videos. Now, it's not exactly clear how him and his friends got affiliated with Youngboy and his NBA Never Broke Again collective, but already in his very first music video, Teddy would feature the NBA rapper Michi Baby, while him and his friends can be seen wearing slime green Loyal Brothers hoodies. Green is famously the color of Youngboy's 4K Trey gang, and this video from the very start would imply that the Loyal Brothers were official affiliates of Youngboy's Street Alliance. According to some online rumors, the connection to NBA came through an older man who was something like a manager to Teddy and the other Loyal Brothers artists. But what's also clear is that Teddy had apparently had a connection with Youngboy behind the scenes for quite some time. There's photos of Teddy together with Youngboy.
He was definitely a young nigga right here, so yeah, they go way back.
His crew that was seemingly taken several years before Teddy would even drop music. In interviews, Teddy himself has been vague about how he first became acquainted with 4K Trey, but clearly this was a close connection.
Oh, so what's your affiliation with it was for like the NBA group?
Man, that's gang. That's what you're gonna leave it simple as that, gang.
You know, tell us just like, you know, about how like came about.
Oh, that came about from us getting around each other. We were being introduced. And we locked in after that, like, on some intertwined type in the studio, you know.
In 2020, Teddy would drop numerous music videos and songs, which included several more features from NBA artists, including the music video for Holden Court featuring NBA Herm, and the video for Raging featuring BBG Baby Joe, as well as a video for the track Scars that featured the rapper No Cap, who at the time was still signed to Youngboy's NBA label. The Loyal Brothers would also post photos of themselves hanging out with Youngboy himself during this time, showing that their ties reached all the way to the top of the Never Broke Again crew. And Teddy would also drop numerous videos with his partners from New Orleans, like the song Strapped Up with the rapper Young Josh, where they can be seen in their hood in the 7th Ward, and the song Bold with the rapper Spitter 7, where they can be seen once again rocking the slime green bandanas of Youngboy's 4K Trey crew. Coming into 2021, and the rest of the Loyal Brothers would make a cameo in Quando Rondo's music video for Red Eye. Quando, of course, being signed to Youngboy's NBA label, and this track only releasing a few months after the tragic fight between Quando Rondo and King Von, where Quando's friend Lil Tim shot King Von dead. The video begins with an intro where Quando says that they're smoking purple babies, a reference to his ops back in Savannah, Georgia, before adding that they also have a famous pack, a possible reference to King Von. With the message behind the appearance of Teddy and the Loyal Brothers in this video probably being to signal that Quando was well connected in the streets with
Quando underrated, bro. Not gonna lie. Quando music is fire. He made good music. He just underrated. Probably because he beefing with King Von and niggas prefer Von.
shooters not only in Georgia, but all the way to Louisiana, New Orleans, and Baton Rouge as well. A secret coded message to let the world and Lil Durk and his OTF crew know that if they try him,
long live Chink's drugs, man.
He's got shooters on deck. In fact, it's even possible that behind the scenes, King Von himself had become aware of the Loyal Brothers before his untimely death due to the rivalry with Youngboy and NBA. Because in his song Mine 2, a King Von diss aimed at Youngboy, Von would rap about having beef in NOLA, aka New Orleans, Louisiana, without even knowing it. At the time, many fans likely believed he was referring directly to Youngboy and used NOLA to refer to Louisiana in general, but perhaps more likely he was actually referring to Teddy and his crew, who were undoubtedly picking sides hard in Youngboy's beefs. Also in 2022, No Cap would shout out Teddy in his song Ocean Gold, showing that at this point the Loyal Brothers were clearly established as the certified muscle of NBA and 4K Trey, and this reputation didn't come out of nowhere, as the Loyal Brothers were involved in street wars with several other gangs in their hometown that had turned deadly. In 2022, at the time 18-year-old Loyal Brothers affiliate Young Josh, real name Joshua Williams, was arrested for the murder of a 16-year-old, Caron Hoskins, which he had allegedly committed while out on bond for an earlier 2020 attempted murder of another 16-year-old. However, it seems that the DA would ultimately refuse to prosecute Josh for this homicide. Meanwhile, Bash Out Teddy was still releasing music and maintaining his close ties with NBA and 4K Trey, dropping music videos for the track Chopper City Flow featuring Young Josh and NBA Ben 10, and the track Top Dog that featured Quando Rondo, meaning at this point probably the only NBA artist he hadn't collaborated with was Youngboy himself. Youngboy unfortunately wouldn't end up doing a feature with Teddy, but he would make an appearance in Teddy's 19th birthday vlog in December 2022, personally wishing him a happy birthday during a FaceTime call.
Happy birthday. I hope you enjoy yourself over there.
Thank you, Chad. No, I appreciate that.
So the top. You got that boy like a gun.
But unfortunately, Teddy wasn't just remaining active on the music side, but also in the streets, where he would allegedly end up causing an untold amount of death and destruction in 2023 alone. On the 28th of February 2023, 32-year-old Bradley Glapion, a cameraman specialized in shooting music videos for up-and-coming rappers in New Orleans, was shot and killed in his car at the intersection of Lake Forest Boulevard and Bundy Road.
Well, new this morning, a man is dead after a shooting in the West Lake Forest neighborhood of New Orleans East. NOPD says it happened just before 9:30 last night at the intersection of Bundy and Lake Forest Boulevard. When officers arrived, they found a man with multiple gunshot wounds in a vehicle. He was taken to a local hospital where he later died. If you have any information on the shooting, call Crime Stoppers.
A few months later, on the 3rd of April, security cameras in the 3500 block of Roger Williams Street captured a chaotic scene around 9:13 a.m. as 3 shooters opened fire on a man fixing his car. The victim, who appeared to have been hit in the left foot during the initial shootout, could then be seen limping towards his house in an attempt to reach safety, while one of the shooters wearing red and black pants can be seen chasing after him almost all the way inside as he continued to fire a handgun fitted with a drum magazine. Thankfully, this man would end up surviving what seemed like a planned assassination.
Nigga damn near chased the nigga all the way in the crib and killed him.
Attempt, while the New Orleans police would release the security camera footage to the public in the hopes of getting tips about the suspects. The clothing of the main shooter would turn out to be critical, as online sleuths would later realize that Bash Out Teddy had seemingly worn the exact same pants in a recent music video, a video where he was also seen holding a very similar looking handgun with the drum magazine. Also around this time, NBA Youngboy would release his song F the Industry Part 2, where he rapped how his hitter came all the way from New Orleans and left someone dead at the apartments.
Niggas make it so easy, bro. A nigga went on a drill with a fit that he repeatedly wears.
According to some theories, these lyrics may point to the September 22 murder of Youngboy's Baton Rouge rival, rapper Seven Hardaway from the Top Boy Gorilla crew, who Youngboy and his 4K Trey gang had been in a deadly war with for years, as Hardaway was indeed shot and killed at an apartment complex called Sherwood Place. Ultimately, these rumors weren't proven to be true, but the April 2023 attempted murder that was caught on tape would eventually lead Bash Out Teddy to be in serious trouble with the law. But before the police could even catch up with him, he would allegedly be involved in yet another murder, this one being the most tragic of them all, as the victim wasn't even the intended target. it, but 17-year-old mother Leah Perry was ultimately gunned down by a stray bullet during an attempted drive-by shooting on July the 7th, 2023 in the 4300 block of North Villaire Street.
The NOPD responds to 2 separate homicide scenes within about an hour. One happened in the St. Claude neighborhood, the other in New Orleans East.
And here's what we know about that first shooting. A woman that dies from a shooting in the St. Claude neighborhood, and it happened in the 4300 block of North Villeray Street around 7 tonight. And they say a woman suffered at least 1 gunshot wound to her body. She was pronounced dead on the scene.
Teddy's reputation at this point was rising quickly due to his alleged involvement in these incidents, and not just in New Orleans, but also amongst his NBA and 4K Trey affiliates in Baton Rouge and beyond. This meant that Youngboy and his friends were seemingly also taking on the beefs of Teddy and his Loyal Brothers crew in New Orleans. In fact, during 2023, a beef would indeed begin between Youngboy and perhaps the brightest star to come out of New Orleans in recent years, Rob 49. According to some rumors, this beef was actually related to the fact that Teddy's Loyal Brothers weren't messing with the hood that Rob hails from. This being the infamous Iberville projects, where the last original public housings in New Orleans stood until the early 2010s, a spot that I actually visited while I was in the city.
So possibly the most commercially successful street rapper coming out of New Orleans right now is Rob 49. Now he gets his nickname Rob 49 from the fact that he grew up in the 4th and the 9th ward of New Orleans. Now, right now, I'm standing outside one of the old buildings of the Iberville projects where he hails from. And interestingly, just like how we see in Chicago, a lot of the original project buildings were actually knocked down. People have been displaced. There's been gentrification. And as we see in Chicago, that often leads to a lot of the violence, a lot of people being pushed out of their original communities into other ones. And that's where friction ends up happening. And unfortunately, it's rumored that one of the reasons that Rob 49 would actually never be able to work with Youngboy is because of Youngboy's association with the Loyal Brothers, who I discussed earlier in this video. And unfortunately, Rob 49's crew doesn't really see eye to eye with those guys, the Loyal Brothers. So a lot of people are very, very sad that that's the reason that Rob might never do a song with Youngboy. But I just wanted to come here and show you this and just let you know a lot of these problems with displacements and projects being knocked down and people being pushed out, this happens in every city from Chicago to New Orleans. We've talked about it in the Bronx and even London. So I hope that gives you a little bit more understanding of the background as to why some things get so bad in these communities.
So Quando Rondo would actually make the beef between NBA and Rob 49 known publicly in his March 2023 song 50, where he dissed Rob with a clever wordplay, saying he doesn't F with 49 but he'll be quick to rob you for your chains, before shouting out Bash Out Teddy and rapping that he's gripping Dracos with him in the 7th ward. Given how locked in Teddy seemed to be with NBA and 4K Trey crews at this time, it seemed only a matter of time before he would officially become part of Youngboy's label, potentially taking his music career to the very top. But unfortunately, the streets would soon catch up with him, because later that same year, in October 2023, Teddy, real name Kenneth Salisbury, was arrested in connection with the attempted murder case that had been caught on camera, and it wouldn't take long before the police began linking him to other murders, like the slayings of Bradley Glapion and Leah Perry too.
NOPD says the suspect in a July shooting death of a 17-year-old girl is already in custody for another killing and a 3rd shooting that wounded a man. And here's what we know tonight. Police announced this afternoon that they booked 20-year-old Kenneth Salisbury in connection with the teen's death. Leah Perry was shot multiple times near the intersection of North Villeray and Lesseps. And detectives say he's also a suspect in the February 28th shooting in New Orleans East that killed a 32-year-old Bradley Glapion, and an April 4th shooting that wounded a man. Salisbury now faces a charge of 2nd-degree murder for that death, as well as another 2nd-degree murder charge and a charge of attempted 2nd-degree murder.
Despite these extremely serious charges, Teddy was still granted bond, which in total amounted to around $1.5 million, meaning roughly $150,000 in cash would be required to secure his release. And yet, despite having extremely wealthy friends like Youngboy, no one apparently stepped forward to post the bond. And while sitting behind bars, Teddy has unfortunately continued to rack up an extensive list of new charges, the most serious one stemming from an incident where Teddy and 2 other inmates allegedly stabbed someone in jail.
Just for allegedly stabbing an inmate inside OJC last Wednesday, arrest records allege that several inmates held on the 3rd floor of the jail ran inside a cell and then assaulted Andrew Broderick. The records allege the victim was taken to UMC for his injuries with about 10 to 12 stab wounds on his body. The 3 suspects are identified as Kenneth Salisbury, Alquan Johnson, and Jermaine Jones. They all face 3 counts of stabbing, illegal possession of a weapon, and possession of contraband in a jail.
Teddy wasn't the only Loyal Brothers member who would be arrested on serious charges either, as the other promising rapper Young Josh would also go down on federal drug and gun charges, followed by several other Loyal Brothers affiliates. And currently, it seems like most of this crew's members are either locked up or laying low. Unfortunately, for many of the young rappers coming out of New Orleans, prison seems to function like a revolving door, because shortly before Teddy begun his violent spree that would eventually put him behind bars, another very promising teenage rapper had just seen his own rise to fame cut short by violence and prison. AIA Lit was one of the most promising young rappers coming out of New Orleans, building a serious name for himself in the industry at just 15 years old. But even with some of the most prestigious industry connections in the entire city, with people like Birdman on his side, unfortunately, he couldn't leave the streets behind. And it would be here on the 2900 block of Monterey Court in the Terrytown community where he would unfortunately end up catching a serious case of murder, which would unfortunately derail his career. AIA Lit is another young rapper from New Orleans who appeared to be on the path to rap stardom, but just like NBA Youngboy's protege and the alleged shooter Bash Out Teddy, the streets would ultimately drag him back down too, just as it seemed like he was about to make it. Just like Teddy, AIA Lit also has connections to the 7th Ward where he spent his early years, but later in life he would become affiliated with another hood on the west bank of the Mississippi River known as the Cutoff, located in the far back of the Algiers neighborhood, also known as the 15th Ward. This being the only neighborhood on the west bank that belongs to New Orleans, while the rest belongs to the unincorporated Jefferson Parish.
Hello world. I'm like, where you from?
I'm gonna clear it up right now, cause you know, from that 7th Ward, brother. That's just from, but I rep that Cutoff, cause you know that's why I became AIA Lit at. That's me. Like that's why I became AIA Lit at Cutoff. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I rep. So I'm like, where you from? I say the Cutoff, but you know, the out there who really know me, they be like, oh. You know where you from? I'm like, I know where I'm from, you know, but I know what I put on for too, you see what I'm saying? I'm an even elder, this is what it is. Yeah, I eat.
Besides proudly repping their hood, Lit and the other youths from the Cutoff crew would also rep small cliques, like one known as the Apes in Algiers, aka AIA. This clique also including other talented rappers like AIA Mike, also known as PNF Mike. The youths from the Cutoff used to be friends with other kids from the other end of Algiers, a place that used to be home to the William J. Fisher housing development, better known simply as the Fisher Projects.
Let me stress y'all out right fast with this New Orleans hood history lesson on the only housing project in New Orleans that's on the West Bank. We call it the Fisher. Now, the Fisher Project was built in 1965 in Algiers. We call it the 1.5 or the 15th Ward. It's named after William J. Fisher, who worked for the Housing Authority in New Orleans at the time. The Fisher Project was real close-knit.
You know them niggas talk funny out there.
It was one 13-story building and 14 3-story buildings, all low income. Normally, I say the crack moved in the 80s, but in the Fisher Project, it was mostly heroin and PCP by the 80s. Call it Clickum juice. And the Fisher had a problem with the police all the time because the police got killed back there in 1980, and then in 81, 7 police came back there and killed 4 people. It was good people in the Fisher Project too, but in the 90s, the crime was legendary, so I couldn't go see them. Like the rest of the projects, they blew the Fisher up and put a housing community called the Fisher right there with all low-income housing. So if you in New Orleans and you come to this sign and say General de Gaulle and you get off, make sure you go left, because on the right is the Fisher Project. Some 150 boys that'll send you back the other way.
Although the original housing project has since been demolished, the area, which is still referred to as the Fisher, remains home to more low-income housing, a hood known as the 150.
How deep does the 150, does the 150 represent the whole Fisher, or is it a certain era? How does the 150?
The whole thing. The whole thing, because every generation going, like from my generation took on a generation problems prior to us.
Because I know
it just trickle down.
I know Baby Josh, y'all call him Shada, but I know him, and I know you and him is 2 different generations. Right. So if you repping the 150, he repping the 150. I was just assuming it must be the whole Fisher.
Members from Fisher, aka 150, also rep smaller cliques like YGS, aka Young Glock Slingers, and 5PF. The grim meaning behind this name I'll explain to you later in the video. This hood has had its fair share of rappers too, such as Big Reek 150, Crazy Tigo 150, Gliss 4L, Great White Styles, and LaFranc 5, just to name a few. And back in the day, rappers from 150 and Cutoff used to do music together, like this 2019 song Drill Team by PNF Mike from Cutoff and Pour One Up from 150. Unfortunately though, it seems that coming into 2020, as the COVID-19 pandemic spread across the world and violence surged in all the major American cities, including New Orleans, these two hoods would end up having a major falling out, which would lead to some seriously tragic consequences. On the 11th of May 2020, at around 7:20 p.m, 23-year-old James Esteem, known as Jigger, was out for a family get-together in the 2000 block of LaBouffe Street, right in the heart of the Fisher, when shooters would drive in front of the crowd and open fire, killing not only James, but also his 3-year-old little brother, Isaiah Adams, while injuring their mother, who was trying to get their toddler to safety. The shooters would attempt to flee the area.
This the shit right here, bro. Niggas don't talk about, bro. Like, niggas done killed the little girl. Come on, man. That little, you see this little girl, bro? Come on, man. 3-year-old little boy, my bad. You see this little boy? 3-year-old boy involved in a triple shooting, police say. Come on, man. That's what be fucking me up, bro. A baby.
Isaiah Adams, while injuring their mother, who was trying to get their toddler to safety. The shooters would attempt to flee the area in their car, but a police officer quickly became aware of the situation and took chase. And near the intersection of General Meyer Avenue and Holiday Drive, they would crash their vehicle into a utility pole. This would be followed by 4 people bailing out of the car, 2 of them forcing their way into another car at gunpoint, committing literal Grand Theft Auto and continuing the chase. But the police would follow this car to the parking lot of a store about 2 blocks away too, where the duo would then try to escape on foot again, at which point this police officer would chase and catch one of them, 19-year-old Ron J. Stedman. Ron J., better known as Trap by his friends in the Cutoff, was not a rapper himself, but he'd made appearances in music videos of rappers from his hood, like in the PNF Mike January 2020 video for his song Free Ghetto Child, where he can be seen making a statement against snitching.
Be rats, we don't never rat. Right. All facts. No rats allowed. Can't cut a neck cut if you ain't tough.
However, when it all came down to it, it appeared that Trap was not so opposed to cooperating after all, as paperwork later posted online shows that he initially denied knowing the identities of the other suspects, before eventually seeming to agree with the officer about who they were. Eventually, 2 more members from the Cutoff would be charged with these murders, including
what happened to no rats allowed, nigga? You went back on your own words.
Rodney Stedman, the brother of Trap, and Razak Adekunle. Meanwhile, following the double murder, members of 150 paid tribute to their friend James, with their young rapper LaFranc 5 dedicating the song This Struggle to him, and rapping about how he was going to ball hard for James every chance he got. But unfortunately, Frank wasn't talking about basketball. And when this song was released on the 17th of August, 150 had allegedly already gotten their get back, because a few weeks earlier on August the 2nd, at around 6:39 p.m, 18-year-old Charles Sparkman, better known as D-Red by his friends in the Cutoff, were walking through his hood in the 2800 block of Kent Drive, when someone would approach him and open fire, shooting him fatally before fleeing the area. This was a particularly devastating loss for Cutoff, as D-Red was not known to be in the streets, but rather he worked for UPS and was apparently about to go to college, with his brother, Big Guapo, later rapping in a song how D-Red was a scholar while he was the one in the streets. Red's death also hit AIA Lit particularly hard too, and in a post on Instagram, he said he felt personally responsible for what had happened, implying how Red had nothing to do with the beef against 150, before vowing that from that moment on, he would be ready to put his life on the line for his fallen friend. Red's killers were never caught, but in online rumors, particularly 2 members of 150 have been connected to it, including the rapper LaFranc 5 and a member called Fresh. But unfortunately for them, in the streets of New Orleans, what goes around tends to come around quickly, and the following month, on September the 10th, the 150 duo of LaFranc 5 and Fresh, along with a 3rd member, the rapper Pour One Up, who had once done a song together with the Cutoff rapper PNF Mike, were on the other side of the Mississippi River at a residential house in the 4100 block of Rain Drive that was being used as a recording studio. Their session would come to an end around 9:30 p.m, and the trio would step outside the house. But sadly, they wouldn't get far, and it seems that at least one shooter was outside waiting for them, and they would immediately open fire. Their bullets would kill 17-year-old LaFranc 5, real name Frank Bedell, as well as 19-year-old Fresh, real name Khalil Allen, and 19-year-old Pour One Up, real name Horsham Miller. The initials of these 3 eventually forming the new name for the previously mentioned clique, 5PF, with P standing for Pour and F standing for Frank and Fresh.
Tell us a little about what 5PF mean. What that mean?
I mean, bring 5, okay. Pour One Up, okay. And Fresh. All right. King Fresh. King Fresh.
Besides the trio, an unknown woman and man would also be injured during this incident, and as the police arrived to the scene soon after, they would immediately arrest 2 people, a 19-year-old man and a 15-year-old boy, on gun charges. A few days later, local news would report that the 15-year-old had been charged for the shooting, while the 19-year-old was only hit with gun charges. The 15-year-old would turn out to be a member from the Cutoff, known as AIA 6, real name
Years. Year 88, what's the word, my brother? How we feeling tonight?
Jaharin Moten, who was charged as an adult for the 3 murders and 2 attempts despite his young age at the time of the crime. However, in some online rumors, AIA Lit has also been connected to this incident, and in his songs he's dropped some pretty suspicious lyrics, like referring specifically to catching the ops who killed D-Red, these allegedly being LaFranc 5 and Fresh, who both lost their lives in that triple murder. Moten would eventually be sentenced on 3 manslaughter charges and 2 aggravated back.
Nigga said, don't play with me tonight, Jimmy. What we talking about? What happened, nigga? What happened? Talk to me, gang. What's up, gang? Nigga said, don't play with me tonight. What's up, man? What you on, Playboy? What you on, Playboy?
Charges, getting just 15 years in prison, while AIA Lit has never officially been connected to this incident. But while it's safe to say that Lit was staying active in the streets during 2020, his music career also begun to flourish that year too, as he would drop numerous music videos that now have hundreds of thousands of views, as well as dropping 2 full-length projects. And the same phase would continue in 2021, as Lit would drop numerous popular songs, with one of the best known and the most infamous being referenced to his 16-year-old dead rival called Lil Kev, real name Kevin Harris. He came from a clique known as 5-6 from the Terry.
Said, I'd fight Ross. Aiden Ross? I don't know, man. You probably knock Aiden Ross out. You probably would. Shout out to Aiden Ross, though. What he do to you, nigga? What Aiden Ross do to you, bro? What he do?
Town neighborhood located.
This is but this ain't even Aiden's video. This is my man Trap LaRoss. You think you could take Trap LaRoss in a one-on?
Right next to the Algiers. Kev's killing on February the 13th, 2021 was caught on security camera, showing someone shooting him in the head from close distance, and on places like Reddit, some would claim that Lit himself was involved. But 25-year-old Torrance Robertson would eventually be arrested for the incident, which investigators later determined had stemmed from a drug deal gone wrong. However, a few months later, there would be another murder in Terrytown, interestingly only 0.2 miles from where Lil Kev was killed, and this time, AIA.
Oh, Trap LaRoss. You right. My bad. I be forgetting that. I be calling this nigga Trap LaRoss. Yeah, Trap LaRoss. You right. It ain't Aiden Ross, man. But nigga said anyone named Ross, but meant Trap LaRoss. You feeling gangster tonight, nigga. Nigga said any one of them Ross niggas, man. Maybe even Ricky Ross, nigga.
Lit was allegedly.
Who else? Diana Ross could get it too.
Right in the middle of it. On the 2nd of May 2021, at around 5:45 p.m, 18-year-old Cardell Preston was walking in the 2900 block of Monterey Court South when a car would pull up and 2 shooters stepped out opening fire, with police finding him soon after laying on the ground with fatal gunshot wounds.
Deputies need your help finding whoever shot and killed a man in Terrytown late this afternoon. Officers got to a house on South Monterey Court just before 6 p.m. when they declared the victim dead at the scene. Investigators have yet to share his identity or a motive. They ask anyone with information in this case to call Crime Stoppers. That's at 504-822-1111.
During the rest of 2021, the police would act.
Yeah, so you got beef with the hip hop Harry Potter? 88, you got beef with the hip hop Harry Potter?
Actively investigate this murder and arrest altogether 5 people in total. One of these being AIA Lit himself, who was arrested in June, and as the youngest of the arrestees, being only 17 at the time, back then his name and the charges were initially withheld from the public. But then in January 2022, he would be charged as an adult for being one of the alleged 2 shooters in the case. However, as seems to be normal in Louisiana, Lit was still given a bond despite his serious charges, and in September 2022, YouTuber Say Cheese, aka Sean Cotton, would apparently be the person who paid Lit's reportedly $500,000 bond. And he would welcome him home with a post saying he was being accused of a murder that he didn't commit.
You know Sean Cotton did not pay no goddamn $500,000. He paid, even if he had to pay 10% of that. You think he even paid the 10%? Maybe he did. Nigga, 88, I'm beefing with anyone named Ross tonight. Fuck it.
Following Lit's release, Sean Cotton aimed to work with him to help build his music career, and according to Cotton himself, they would be negotiating a deal with one of the biggest hip-hop moguls in history and New Orleans legend, Birdman. But unfortunately, Lit's big plans for his careers would be hampered by the fact that he wasn't allowed to leave the state, something that would turn out to be a curse as the homicide rate was peaking and the city of New Orleans was earning the grim title of America's murder capital in 2022.
And me and Birdman was supposed to link up together and partner on him. But he couldn't leave the state. So you know how New Orleans is.
You stuck in your hood.
New Orleans last year was the murder.
That As Dave would say, I got you, my heart. Copy. Say that. Say that.
Capital. New Orleans was.
Damn.
New Orleans, Louisiana was the murder capital.
But nonetheless, after getting bailed out, Lit seemed determined to take his music.
This is where that YouTube money going, nigga. Listen, nigga, Sean popped out with the big pieces. All right. I see you, man. See that YouTube channel popping, man. He getting that bread. He getting chicken.
Louisiana was.
I be seeing him in cars and shit too.
The murder capital.
But nonetheless, after getting bailed out, Lit seemed determined to take his music career to the next level, releasing several music videos in quick succession, all of them receiving tens or even hundreds of thousands of views. And he would also drop several full-length musical projects. His formula was working, and coming into 2023, Lit's music videos were now consistently breaking hundreds of thousands of views, while he was also starting to collaborate with popular artists in other cities, like the rapper Real Bleeder from Baton Rouge. But then, in April...
You think those chains fake, bro? Why you think them chains is fake, my heart? Why? Why you think? Tell me. Let me know. Why you think the chains is fake, gang? He said rentals and rental homes. He probably got some rental homes too. He probably got, that nigga Sean Cotton kind of, from what I hear, I think he was smart with his bread.
2023, everything would come crashing.
The chains look official though. They huge though. Pause.
Down once again, as police would catch AIA Lit in traffic in a stolen car, triggering a foot chase, and when he and two other men were finally caught, officers discovered drugs and guns in their possession.
More information tonight about what led to a very large police presence, as well as a school lockdown in a neighborhood in New Orleans East.
Apparently there have been some arrests as well. Whitney Miller joining us now live from the scene. Whitney, what can you tell us?
Yeah, the scene has...
You said, I'm saying he's renting homes. Not having them, I don't know. Yeah, like you saying he's into real estate. He got multiple properties, or you saying he rent where he live?
Died down much here. I'm on the corner of Dwyer and Bullock, but the police presence is just one vehicle now. We did learn that a possible stolen vehicle sparked all of this. Just take a look at the video we shot of police surrounding this neighborhood off of Bullock just a few hours ago. Police just told me this whole scene was a result of a possible stolen vehicle, and police spotted it in this area. And when they approached, several people exited the vehicle and ran.
Who told you that, nigga? Who told you that, 88?
There was a chase on foot. We watched as two teens were arrested. Police tell me they made a perimeter around the neighborhood, and that's how they were able to catch up with the third suspect.
This time around, a judge
Oh, you like that?
Would find Lit to be a danger to the community and would order him to be held without a bond. And to make matters worse, he and one of the other men were eventually hit with a federal indictment over the drugs and guns that they had been caught with. In March 2024, Lit would end up making a plea deal with the feds, receiving a 6.5-year sentence, which is set to run concurrently with another case that he has at the state level in the New Orleans parish. And consecutively with the case he has in Jefferson Parish, this being the murder case which is still open, all this means that if he's found guilty, Lit could very well end up spending the rest of his life in prison. And by now, you'll probably have noticed that there is a clear pattern going on over there. Two extremely talented young street rappers build up serious momentum in the local scene and just start getting buzz outside of their city, only for their careers to come crashing down, all as a result of their connections to the streets. Sadly, when you come from a place as violent as New Orleans, way too many talented young rappers end up ruining their lives at the very moment when it seems like they're about to make it out. However, in our final story, the outcome would be even darker, because one rising rapper who repped the very same neighborhood where Lil Wayne grew up wouldn't end up in prison at all. Instead, just as his career was about to take off after signing with the very same label Lil Wayne did, he would end up being killed in cold blood in his own hood, and according to some rumors, his murder may well have even had something to do with the man who signed him, Birdman.
Desmond Jerome was gunned down last night as he went to secure a deal for an upcoming concert. Michael Patterson was a mentor and friend and was shocked to learn Jerome was fatally shot at 11:15 Saturday night at this gas station in the 9200 block of Airline Highway.
Now, there's a couple of places where once rappers get a buzz, if they stay there, man, they usually do two things. They either lose their way or lose their life, okay? Louisiana is unfortunately part of that list, okay? Now we gotta add another name to the list. BTY Youngin, a rapper out of New Orleans who just got signed to Birdman, okay? The hand rub wasn't even done yet, okay?
When it comes to rappers who died for the streets of New Orleans, the story of BTY...
The hand rub wasn't even done yet. Yo, Ack is a fool, bro. Ack is definitely a GOAT. That's crazy, dog. Listen to what the nigga Ack said.
To list. BTY, Louisiana is unfortunately part of that list. Okay, now we gotta add another name to the list. BTY Youngin, a rapper out of New Orleans who just got signed to Birdman. Okay, the hand rub wasn't even done yet. Okay,
the hand rub wasn't even done yet. Okay, yo.
When it comes to rappers who died for the streets of New Orleans, the story of BTY Youngin, real name Desmond Jerome, might just be the most tragic in the history of New Orleans rap.
Man, you get any years with a deal, you a peon, and can't dive up enough, give up enough to get out. Small time though. Owning a Shell gas station and convenience store typically yields an annual return investment ROI of, man, I know what ROI is, 15 to 25%. Fun fact. Okay.
And possibly the most devastating loss of potential since the murder of Soulja Slim in 2003. He would be widely regarded as one of New Orleans'
gas station costs hella bread though. Let's keep it a bin. A Shell gas station costs some bread. Tell me how much it would cost to buy a franchise Shell gas station. I know it's bread.
Most promising rap prospects of the last decade, and while Young would go on to rep particularly Holly Grove, the place.
And make sure you say in New York City. Maybe even outside of New York. Yes, return on investment.
Where he would ultimately lose his life. His story began in 1989 in the section of the 17th Ward known as Pigeon Town. Here, his hood around Hickory and General Ogden was known as Backer Town, with BTY.
Bro, I gotta literally say that. I gotta say ROI or return on investment damn near 20 times a day because it's a part of my pitch. Once people start asking about you know, once I get into my shit.
Literally standing for Backertown Young'un. However, when Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans in 2005, devastating floods would completely destroy parts of the city. This caused him and his family, as well as many other people, to relocate to Houston, Texas. Here, Young'un, still a teenager at the time, along with many other youngsters, would bring with them the mentality of the New Orleans street, which according to many media sources at the time, created a new crime wave as New Orleans gangs spilled into Houston. One day while he was living in Texas, Young'un's wild lifestyle would catch up with him and nearly cost him his life.
You said don't matter how much it costs, it's a down payment alone. If you put $500K, right, you're gonna yield 15-25% of that. That's great. I mean, that's fire. That's fire. But I'm just saying, like, the average person can't just go open up a gas station type shit. Like, it's very expensive. But you're right, it's just a loan if you're doing it right.
Life in a chaotic chain of events. While rapping with a group of people, he would instinctively pull a gun from his waistband to emphasize his lyrics. But the sudden movement caused another person to react defensively, which in turn prompted a third person to draw their weapon, opening fire, hitting Young'un 5 times, as one of the people involved would later tell the Rari Report's YouTube channel.
Man, I go, he go, I go again. Then I just remember he sang for that rap and he coming up with that and I must have had looked off for a split second, cause when I'm looking back, boom, I'm seeing that come up, and I went. And I was asking,
what the hell wrong with Buddy Jibs?
Was he still flowing? When
the hell is on his jib, nigga? Wipe that off. You ain't gonna try to get that off.
When he pulled it, yeah, like it was like part of the rap, like. But you my partner, so you never thinking when this gun coming out is to do you something. But I don't know you. Yeah, I'm just looking at you and like, man, who this is? And then you come.
So you and Young'un was just meeting?
Yeah, that was our first time ever meeting each other. My partner go to hitting. Young'un get hit 5 times. Yeah.
Fortunately, Young'un survived this accidental shooting and would later recount just how close he had come to losing his life that day.
Pulled myself back up the stairs. Back up the stairs, I just walked down and laid down on the living room floor like, I'm like, y'all take my clothes off, like cause my body hot, like, you know, them when you say them bullets burn, them really burn, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, y'all take my clothes off. They took my clothes off. I ain't never panicked not one time. But I hear moms, this the only thing was getting me though, you hear me? I hear moms on the phone with the ambulance people, and all I'm hearing is her saying, I can't hear what they saying, but by me hear her saying, he a black man. He's 16, like, you know, that's letting me know what type of questions they asking her. So I'm like, this what the.
Why they asking that? I guess they want a description of whoever they about to come get though. So we can't, you know what I mean? But yo, why the fuck that's what you worried about? Ask the address. Ask me the motherfucking address, nigga. Send them people. You know what I mean? I've always said people don't own things. They put down as little as possible. Get the tenants to pay the tenant stacking. Don't own any outright, but have equity in many. I think that's what 1/4 tooth grill. 1/4 tooth grill. I don't know. That was not a grill, dog. That was not a grill at all. That was that was a stain on them jibs, boy.
You know I'm about to die. Like, this what the they talking about, like, you know what I'm saying?
But after New Orleans recovered from Hurricane Katrina, Young'un would return to the city and start his rap career properly in 2008, dropping a tape titled Me and My Young'uns, together with another 17th Ward rapper called Misdemeanor. But Young'un would also stay active in the streets, and already later that same year, he was arrested and charged with a double homicide. Based on the offense date, it seems that these murders took place near the corner of Green and Hollygrove, which is within the same block as the corner of Hickory and General Ogden, where Young'un actually hailed from. The alleged motive of this incident isn't clear, but the victims were 33-year-old Kevin Jarrow and 23-year-old Bernell Brock, whose lifeless bodies were found 3 hours after the police had already left the scene and taken Jarrow to a hospital, where he too would die early the following morning. But despite the extremely serious charges, Young'un would end up beating them the following year, as the prosecution would refuse to indict him, and he would get right back to rapping, dropping a tape called Rider Music, the name coming from a label that he was now repping, the Rider Music Records, or RMR. Unfortunately though, trouble would keep following Young'un, and already in 2011, he was in serious trouble again, as he would be hit with multiple charges, the most serious one being an attempted murder. And this time, Young'un wouldn't be able to get off the hook, as he would eventually take a plea deal, getting convicted of aggravated battery and facing about 3.5 years in prison. Young'un was finally released in 2014, and he would continue where he left off, getting right back to building his music career, this time also beginning to take advantage of the new avenues that social media was creating for artists, like dropping vlogs on YouTube.
Let me catch it from there. You remember run the hook after that? Tupac back.
You want to run it from the first, right?
No, let me catch it where I just left off, man. You remember run the hook on now?
All right.
Alright.
They got Pro Tools out.
Oh, G, you already know. Hickory and G, we right there. Posted up, you understand? It's where it all started at. 1738, 1736. Huh?
Yeah, boy.
We here, man. Real talk. Got the whole city on my smash. Real? The whole city on my back. Fresh home out the can. I want to hear that. Yeah, fresh. You want me to run something? I want to hear that. Yeah. There, go tell him. I'm like, got some static with some on the other side of town. I don't need a co-defendant for it with a lot of rounds. On that OJ shit, hopping out the Bronco. Bring them war, sling them raw like Griselda Blanco.
At this time, Young'un would start to rep a collective and movement known as
He said a quarter. A quarter. Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought of buying a franchise before. It's like buying yourself a career job. Know what I mean? So like, you was gonna have somebody run it though, right? You was gonna buy a franchise, and then you saying you was gonna just put some people in there to run the store. You own it. You gotta have a manager. I mean, you gonna make money. It's gonna be bread. You know what I'm saying? Shit. How much would a gas station cost in Canada? I heard like everything in Canada is more expensive. Like basically y'all. Yeah, you was gonna be the one working there. You was not gonna work at the gas station, brother. There's no way in hell you was gonna be the nigga behind the counter or the manager. There's no way. You was gonna be working at the gas station that you own. Nigga, 88. You was gonna work there, nigga. I need an answer for that.
as the 0017th, the name being a mix of James Bond's 007 and the 17th Ward, so you know these guys are going to be some trained assassins. This time the number referred particularly to the neighbourhood north of Pigeon Town known as Hollygrove, where many of Young'un's partners came from and where Young'un was now also spending a lot of time.
0017 was a movement started with Reem and Nesbitt Phipps, and it came up as an idea.
It's like, let's say a Subway. You manage it and have sandwich artists. Same as a gas station. Front workers, and I would be managing it and be back end, duh. So you will be you're not. So you're gonna have employees, but you're gonna be the manager. I mean, that is gonna take a lot of your time. You're gonna actually be working. Right now, you just be chilling, right? Like right now, all you gotta do is visit a couple properties here and there. Your life is more on chill mode right now. If you managing a gas station, nigga, then you back to work type shit. You know what I'm saying? More or less. I like you said, you're not gonna be the nigga behind the counter. You're gonna be managing it, obviously, but you know, that's still you're still gonna take away a lot of your time. You're not gonna be just Mr. Free Time all the time. You know what I'm saying? Right now, what I assume you do on a day-to-day is go visit properties, go check up on some of your property. Probably don't even check up on your properties. Probably just go collect rent on rent day. That's what I would assume. And then most people probably do it online, so you probably don't even go pick up rent. They probably just pay it online type shit. He said, dude, would be a multi-million-dollar business. Course it be full-time. This is before we go into properties. It's gonna take some time for it to become a multi-million-dollar business, but yeah. But especially if you booming, nigga, you really gonna be busy. How old is you again? You in your 60s? Or you like 50 something? Cause I mean, old heads need to be doing shit too. Like, y'all can't just be sitting around the crib all day. You know what I'm saying? That shit ain't gonna keep you healthy. Maybe that shit'll probably keep you young. You know what I mean? Shit'll probably keep you young.
Off a sound of
Day to day is a lot of computer work. Managing the properties, finances, leases, watching my stocks. Hey, right. That's a fact. Right. Yeah, you're right. This is what you do on a regular. Oh, you 54. I think you young. At 54, I still plan to be like active. Hell yeah. 54. This is a good life for a 54-year-old though. 54, this is a pretty good life though. Computer work, managing properties, finances, obviously the leases though, but shit like that, you don't gotta check every day because not like you gotta, you know what I mean? It's not like you checking the leases every day. Stocks is every single day. Dealing with finances is every single day because, you know, shit might come up. But this computer work shit, managing properties, that's light. Looking for deals, loans, offers, etc. You a pretty free guy. You got a lot of free time though, is what I'm saying. The stock shit is right on your phone. It's in the middle. It's in your hand. Like, you could do that whenever, whatever. You could do that in bed.
a beat that Fifths made, and it sounded like 007. And it, by us being from Holly Grove, the 17.
You could do that shit in Puerto Rico. You could do that shit in Mexico. You could do that shit wherever you got internet. You know what I mean? Like, tell you shit like you're not confined right now.
Well, instead of saying, "Oh, that's some 007 type stuff," it was like, "Oh, this is some 0017. 0017," and that's where the brand come from. All started.
As I mentioned earlier, this neighborhood is best known for being the childhood home of Lil Wayne.
Could you tell us just whereabouts you grew up?
For me, for Lil Wayne, it began in New Orleans, Louisiana, Carrollton, 17th Ward, Holly Grove. What you may call your area, what you may call your village, what you may call your home, that's mine. That's my hood. That's what we call it. That's my everything. I live for that. I die for that. I came from there, and I promise you do not want to go there.
Just like Wayne, who had gotten his start in the rap game in the mid-90s after signing to the New Orleans-originated Cash Money Records, founded by rapper and music mogul Birdman, right as the 2 decades-long friendship between Wayne and Birdman was apparently breaking apart due to a financial disagreement, apparently Birdman became very interested in signing BTY Youngin to his label, with some media at the time even calling Youngin Lil Wayne's replacement. Being associated with Cash Money Records gave Youngin a huge bump in virality, with even mainstream media like Billboard starting to do articles on him. He was having a whole lot of motion during this period, and the music videos he dropped in that era have since accumulated millions of views on YouTube. During this time, he would also win the Breakthrough Artist of the Year award at the 2016 NOLA Awards, and he would keep his name viral with several publicity stunts on social media, like walking into a dealership to buy a car with cash that he had supposedly received straight from Birdman himself.
What's up, baby? What's up, man? What's up, babe? What's up, bro? Wrap it up. I told you I was coming with them bands, man. You hear me? Look, what you talking about? You keep the chain. You can have the bag too. You hear me? Keep everything.
Coming into 2017, it looked like the stars were.
That nigga, how much you think this nigga worth? How much you think this nigga worth? Look at the white man who's about to receive the money. Look how excited he is. He see cameras and everything. He like, okay.
Wrap it up. I told you I was coming with them bands, man. You hear me? Look, what you talking about? You keep the chain. You can have the bag too. You hear me? Keep everything.
Coming into 2017.
Like, nigga, I bet you that white man net worth. All right, listen, a lot of niggas done did this same shit. Came in and threw some bands on the desk for some shiny shit.
You keep the chain. You can have the bag too. You hear me? Keep everything.
Coming into 2017, it looked like the stars were finally aligning for Youngin after all the hardship he had endured in his life, as not only had he become part of the Cash Money crew, but he also ended up becoming a father. But then, right as it seemed that Youngin was about to literally break through to the next stage in life, it would all come crashing down, and this time, it wasn't the cops. On the 29th of April 2017, around 11:15 p.m, Youngin made his way into a Shell gas station in the 9200 block of Airline Highway in Holly Grove, where he was supposed to pick up a check for an upcoming show. But here, a white SUV carrying 3 men would pull into the gas station, one of them jumping out and opening fire on Youngin, leaving him dead at the scene.
Well, a man who was picked as NOLA Music's Breakout Artist of the Year is today being remembered as an up-and-coming rap artist who was devoted to his 2-month-old son. Desmond Jerome was gunned down last night as he went to secure a deal for an upcoming concert. His given name was Desmond Jerome, but as rapper BTY Youngin, friends say he was on the verge of big things.
Materialistic individual.
Once he started making money off of music, that's all his focus was on.
Michael Patterson was a mentor and friend and was shocked to learn Jerome was fatally shot at 11:15 Saturday night at this gas station in the 9200 block of Airline Highway.
In the streets, sometimes when people are trying to get themselves in a better position, some people don't like to see that.
Friends say Jerome was picking up a check last night for an upcoming concert and was then heading to the studio when an assailant struck him down.
Some of his colleagues were there recording, and it was just a really grim call. It wasn't what we expected.
He was a blessed kid. He just got eliminated before he got his shot to show the world what he can actually do.
In the end, friends say Jerome couldn't escape the city's mean streets and those who envied his success.
Youngin's death was a shock to the city, and dozens of people would show up to his candlelight vigil to pay tribute, while at the same time, the focus would immediately turn on exactly who had been behind the murder, with Youngin's mother and family being convinced that he had been killed due to jealousy. And then something strange would happen, as the person who should have been particularly upset by this loss, Birdman, who had supposedly just signed Youngin to his label, would leave a short tribute to Youngin on Instagram before scrubbing the account empty of any pictures of him. Many considered this move to be highly suspicious, and some fans...
Damn, why would Birdman do that? She has Cameron written all over her. Yo, why the fuck would Birdman do that? That's weird.
Became convinced at this point that Birdman actually had something to do with Youngin's death, with some claiming that he had done it for a life insurance payment, while others believed ridiculous theories that Youngin had become another Illuminati sacrifice. However, only a few weeks after the murder, the truth would come out, and New Orleans police would arrest a 31-year-old Daryl Dino Bannister for the crime, apparently linking him to a phone that one of the shooters had dropped at the scene. Bannister would claim that the phone had been stolen from him, but the police claimed that they found evidence that contradicted that story. A few months later, the police announced they were also looking for another person of interest in relation to the murder, 27-year-old Kyron Williams.
Nigga took his phone with him and dropped it, left it there. Dumbass nigga.
He would later be arrested based on DNA found on the phone.
You was dumb for taking your phone with you on the drill. That's the first point. You took your phone with you. Then you dropped it and left it there. So if they had no idea that it was even you to even think to check your phone record, you left the phone to make them check the phone record.
that was left at the scene. Meanwhile, the local news reported how Youngin had gone on Instagram Live on the day of his murder, taunting his unnamed rivals to confront him at the gas station, the exact spot where he would actually end up losing his life, with the cops saying that his murder was very much likely the direct result of this local rivalry that turned deadly. However, while the police were seemingly getting results since the very
Charmaine, what's up, girlie? How you feeling tonight? Charmaine said, would it be the first time Birdman allegedly took out one of his artists? Sheesh, girlie, sheesh. When I saw that they said he paid a tribute, then deleted all his pics, that sounds funny. Like, I can't really make sense of that. Like, why would you do that, right?
very beginning of the investigation, the local news media would also note how there were some shortcomings related to the evidence. They would point out how one commissioner had apparently rejected the requested arrest warrant for Bannister twice due to lack of evidence before another commissioner finally gave the green light. And in the end, almost a year after the murder of one of the most promising rappers New Orleans had seen in decades, the DA would ultimately decide to drop all the charges against both suspects, with prosecutors giving very little information about the reasoning behind the decision, only saying how their decision was based on the totality of evidence available. Today, the murder of BTY Youngin is still unsolved, but it remains a tragic reminder of just why there have been so few rappers from New Orleans to break out from the streets into the mainstream music game. Sadly, most of them unfortunately seem to end up.
I'm good, girlie. I'm feeling good, man. You know how it go over here on my side. Vibing, I can't complain. How you feeling? I hope all is well. 88 said, I seen a funny one. Cop was saying, this is your phone. Guys like, hell nah. He hold the face recognition to his face and it opens. Dumbass nigga. No, it's not. Hold the phone up and shit open right on up. God damn. 88 said, you can hire a property manager. Nah, but you're right, though. You might as well do that shit, 88. If you got the time, you might as well do it yourself. Why even hire this? You already doing it yourself anyway, right? That's $150K off every milli of revenue the property brings in. You might as well, I don't know, man. Fuck it if it's worth it. Shit. I don't know. It's two ways to look at it. If you rather have your time and pay a property manager and let him take his $150K off every milli that come in. Fuck it.
Dead or in jail before they can reach the top. However, there are some reasons to be hopeful about the future of New Orleans rap, as the city is apparently undergoing the greatest decline in crime, including homicides, that the city has seen in decades.
In general, we're at or below any year since 1970, which I think is a success story.
New Orleans murder count hit its lowest point in decades. A local crime analyst says that other types of crime are also on the decline.
And as Andres Fuentes reports, it's a trend that started years ago.
Counting up until Monday, New Orleans has seen 55 of what NOPD classifies as murders so far this year. It's a tragic statistic, but something the city hasn't seen in decades.
You're talking about one of the lowest levels in 50-something years.
Jeff Asher with the New Orleans data company AH Datalytics says that the number of murders so far is historically low, especially when you consider that number includes the 14 lives lost in the New Year's Day terror attack.
Your odds of being a crime victim have gone down substantially.
Asher says his numbers show the current decline started in early 2023. That's also when crime in general started to slow down across New Orleans.
The decline in murder rates is not just affecting New Orleans, but the entire of the United States, which apparently experienced the largest drop in murders on record in 2025. And while the reasons behind this decline are not yet fully understood, one can only hope that this trend continues as long as possible, giving more talented rappers the chance to leave the New Orleans streets behind them and turn their pain into successful music careers before they lose their lives being on either side of the gun. But in the end, it seems like most of the motion in the music game has shifted from New Orleans to Louisiana's original capital, Baton Rouge, where NBA Youngboy has now proven to the world that you don't need to come out of the biggest city in the state to become the biggest rapper there, and also proving that even coming from the most dangerous corners in Louisiana, you can still make it to the top with your life and your freedom. So to wrap up this video, I've traveled about an hour away from from New Orleans to Baton Rouge. I'm at 38th and Chippewa, which you probably already know is the birthplace of NBA YoungBoy, who arguably took the crown from Lil Wayne as far as being the most relevant and successful rapper coming out of Louisiana in this recent generation. And as you can already tell from everything we've discussed in this video, it's very clear that YoungBoy and his 4K Trey crew's influence spreads all over Louisiana to New Orleans and America as a whole. I am the biggest fan of YoungBoy, and I'm so proud of everything that he's achieved, and it just goes to show you just how influential New Orleans, Louisiana, and Baton Rouge music has become all over the world. I hope you found this video interesting, and thank you so much for watching. I'm out.
Good video. 88 said, what you had for dinner, Char? Charmaine, word, what you had? Did you cook, girly? What you ate for dinner, my girly? I ate earlier. The last meal I had, he said, I'm deaf washing Ross. Nah, he cool, chill, man. Let him rock, dog. He ain't do nothing to you. I'm having, I had, some, what I had? Fucking, churrasco. Churrasco, white rice, some vegetables. The churrasco was pretty good. I wanted it medium well, but it came well done. But it was still pretty good. It tastes good. It had the chimichurri sauce too. Charmaine said, "Air, you ain't eating nothing for dinner, girly. That means you about to eat, or you want some type of diet or something. I know you ain't starving yourself over there. Last time I ate was 6 p.m. 6 p.m. I'm trying not to eat nothing for the rest of the night. I'm gonna try, but I might have to eat a glizzy later. At least one." You said, what is that? Steak? Yeah, churrasco. It's like skirt steak. It's skirt steak. You cut it up and you eat it with the rice. You take bites of it with the rice. It was good. Yeah, it was good. It was good. I was all the way in Fishkill, New York. I had it from some place called The Taste of Puerto Rico. I was all the way up in Fishkill. This shit is an hour away from my crib.
She gave us one of the burgers. So then she got aggravated, and then she slammed the window. So then we ended up getting ready to leave. She already beat us out the door. Getting ready to leave, she decided to come outside and shoot.
Were you involved in this?
Yes, at first.
All right, let me ask you first and foremost. Do you have a firearm?
Yes, I do.
Where is it at?
It's in my bag.
Friday, June 14th, 2024, Lakeland, Florida. A complaint over an incorrect order at a drive-thru ends with reports of gun.
88 said, I bet you eat a glizzy before bed, sir. I'm trying to fight it. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? Fight the feeling, fight the urge. Charmaine said, I'm going to eat this leftover chicken. Hey, got the chicken. Listen, man, we got to eat what we got. I might have to eat a glizzy, man. I'm trying not to. I'm literally really fighting it. I was hungry earlier, but I fought it. So we here now. I'm just drinking this water.
Gunfire during a confrontation involving restaurant staff. The focus of the case is not the initial dispute, but when an everyday argument crosses the line into the use of a firearm and whether that conduct can be legally justified as self-defense. I'm Tyler, and this is your daily dose of crime. Get your daily dose of crime every single day at 3 p.m. Eastern, and we're turning it up.
Okay. 88 said, what are the odds that you don't have one? I'd bet 0 and you cave. Bro, I'm trying to not do it. That's the thing. I'm trying to drink this water, bro. I'm trying to just drink this water. You know, so I'm trying not to eat nothing. I don't even got like no snacks or nothing in here right now either. So it's either make a glizzy, make some real food. Do I got fruits? Maybe I got some. Nah, I haven't got no fruits. I don't think.
What they said?
Said they fired 2 shots at him. Yeah. I don't. Did they shoot at your car?
They shot at our car.
Is there bullet holes in your car?
They shot at the car.
Where's the bullet holes at?
No. You gotta look. She shot already.
Yo, the McDonald's employee shot bullet holes in their car, gang. This shit can't be real.
But you can even rewind their cameras and you can see her. You can see her throwing the drinks at the car. we so I
Come with them.
You can come in and talk to me first.
Were you involved in this?
Yes, at first.
All right, let me ask you something first and foremost. Do you have a firearm?
Yes, I do.
Where is it at?
It's in my bag.
Okay, did you shoot the firearm?
Yes, I did, because it was 5 of them and 1 of me. So, they started getting out their car. I just shot in the air.
In the air, you thought that was okay to shoot in the air?
Like, I didn't shoot at them. Did I shoot at them? I was standing right here. They was all the way over there. They started getting out the car.
Check for some cases. She did say she shot. She said she said first.
From the outset, the police response is shaped by a direct accusation. The customers state that a restaurant employee fired shots at their vehicle.
He said, I'm just asking you for in your real mind what you think. The way you drinking that water, I'm gonna say it's 100% you glizzy up. I mean, what do I think, bro? Like, I'm confident in myself, so I'm trying to be confident. So it's no glizzy. But then again, see, the more you make me talk about the glizzy, it's like, now how confident am I after thinking about that? Like, not as confident, because like now you got me like, I feel like I should just make the glizzy now so I don't eat it as late.
As they were leaving the scene, the person identified is Chastity Janasia Gardner, who acknowledges discharging a firearm, but introduces a key distinction regarding her intent and the direction of the shots. That discrepancy immediately defines the core issue. The question is not simply whether shots were fired, but how, why, and under what circumstances, and whether the conduct qualifies as a defensive reaction or an unjustified use of a firearm.
Right, you shot in the air, which means your life wasn't in danger.
Okay, you're fine.
Hey, man, I'm not taking no
So
more
what was the whole thing about?
They started talking. I was like, I guess they order got messed up. They thought they ordered something, but they didn't. I thought
this was in the drive-thru.
In the drive-thru. I'm a manager here.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it's my job to get these orders out. So I was like, okay, because they already in the drive-thru for 15 minutes. So I'm like, okay, I can give you one sandwich, but you have to pay for the other one.
Okay.
And she was like, oh, I want another McDouble. So I was like, okay, you got to pay for that one too. And then I told them, they told her. And she was like, oh.
Yo, all this over some fucking McDoubles, dog. I ain't gonna lie, I wish I had a McDouble right now, nigga.
I'm not gonna pay for nothing, and she started yapping at the mouth. So I was like, I just closed it. I said, I don't get paid enough for this. I don't know if they heard me, but that's when they started getting rowdy. Like, and then I guess.
Charmaine said, you gotta fry it a little bit and put some peppers and onions on it. I do. I fry it. I boil it in the water first, let it unfreeze, and you know what I'm saying, do its thing, cook in the water, and then I pour the water out and let it fry for a little bit. I cook it a little bit, fry it with just like whatever's left in there, and then whatever the juice that's left in there, and then I got ketchup, mustard, and sauerkraut. I dressed them dogs. Pause. I don't got no cut up onions right now that I could cook, but I could. If I had an onion, I'd cut it up. I might got an onion. Nah, I probably don't. But I got sauerkraut.
I had Rachel, my co-worker, right here. I was like, can you please get them their food? Like, I was trying to get away from the situation.
With the gun, was it still on you, or did you have to get it from your bag?
No, and my bag was right next to me.
Your bag was next to you?
Yes.
Okay.
So.
I'm sorry, I know I shouldn't be. Where did you shoot from? Just so I can.
I was standing right here in the front.
In the front?
Yeah, I was standing right here. All right, thank you. So then she pulled off. They still talking to. I'm like, okay, what's the problem? Like, what's the problem? I gave y'all sandwich.
Yo, is the gun legal? Like, is the gun legal? Because the way you talking is like you don't know the gun rights. You don't know how to be a CCW carrier. Like, for one, calm down. You talking to the police telling this story. You got to sound like you in the right. You got to sound like you in your right mind and you're not just being hot-headed. They're going to just automatically say when we pulled up, she was still hot-headed about the situation.
That's it. Okay. So she's like, no, and then she threw a drink on me. Okay. They pulled around. I came out, like, and then they pulled up here. It was 3 of them got out the car.
And you were outside by that point?
Yeah, because I was trying to see if they was leaving.
Okay.
She has a bad attitude. Hey, man, at the end of the day, she had to fire her gun tonight. She better say she was in danger, nigga. She better say her life was in motherfucking danger, nigga. Don't ever say you shot in the air, nigga. Nah, I shot at them. I ain't gonna lie, I think I missed, but I did shoot at them because I needed to get them off my ass. I wasn't trying to die tonight.
So, she came back. They left and they came back. So, when they came back, all three of them had got out of the car. Because they had left, they pulled, like, around, I guess in these apartments right here, that they came back. Three of them got out the car. I said, oh no, no, we're not doing that. Yeah. So I did have my gun. My gun is always in my bag because the area that is in. Yeah. So that's how it happened. Like.
Okay. Now, so at any time, you said there was like three of them. I think there was like three of them.
Yeah, it was three girls got out of the car. One had a pink bun.
How close were they to you? Like, were they just in their car talking? Or
no, they started getting out the car. They was out the car, standing like how you standing. They was walking towards this McDonald's. They was walking towards.
In the best of your ability, we're not gonna walk onto it, but
Charmaine said, what's going on at the McDonald's where people getting mad over them burgers? Nah, they putting something in that shit. I ain't gonna lie. I could go for a McDouble right now, hearing it. I don't even eat McDonald's that much. I try not to. 88 said, why don't they ask to see the gun? Must be a right state. Now, they did. They asked her where the gun was at. She said in the bag. They took the bag already. So they already got the bag. They took it earlier. It was on top of the garbage can. First thing they asked was, wait, are you involved in the shooting? She was like, yeah, I was involved. He was like, where's the gun? And then she was like, in my bag. And she pointed to it. So they good. They took it. She said she would have been smarter if she let them into the store and charged before she blasted them. Facts.
Excuse me. You're fine. So just stand right here. You're fine.
I walked right here by my car, and they was right there.
You see where that the post thing right there? Okay. So were you behind it or in front of it? Kind of where in general?
Behind this post right here. I was behind it a little bit.
Okay. So where were they standing?
Right here where this police, but they walked up here, like in this area where the welcome
in that
sign.
Curve right there?
Yeah.
And that's kind of where they were?
Yeah, that's where they started walking, and they was parked right there where that police y'all truck at.
Okay. Now, how many rounds did you shoot?
I only shot two, just like warning shots.
Warning shots. Can you kind of demonstrate how you did it?
Don't warning shots. Don't do warning shots.
Was it just kind of just up in the air? Was it just like?
It was really like.
She went outside and put a few through their car. In fact, she did. She going to jail, nigga. This shit ain't. This don't sound like self-defense. You wasn't in bodily harm.
Just in the bushes, like tight.
None of them pulled out a gun on you either? Yeah, you fucked.
What do you mean?
Like over here in this area.
Do you remember where you were standing?
Like right here.
Like right here?
Yeah.
She said that she, shot it.
I think they fell in the bushes. I seen one of them. I think one of them hit the concrete. I heard it hit the concrete.
Is somebody 1012 with them over there?
Yeah, just.
Oh, okay, thank you. I just wanted to be sure.
No, man, it was
just. I cannot condone this kind of behavior. I don't condone this shit either. The McDonald's do. I said, you talking about McDonald's behavior? Or you talking about her shooting up these niggas with for no reason, just because they walked back to talk to her? Like, she don't know what the fuck they was walking to her for. Maybe they was making threats. I don't know. But you can't just shoot at people from mad far. It sounded like they was far. See, she said where y'all truck is parked. The truck is parked over there. Look, she's right here. She shot all the way over there as a warning. You could have killed anybody. You could have killed mad niggas. From you trying to shoot at these niggas, you could have killed anybody, any bystander. We all know bullets do not got names, and they go through walls.
Do you know if there's cameras that kind of reach out?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you mind if I can take a look?
Dang, y'all, we locked down.
258 Victor 77.
You say you part 2?
2 rounds.
Yeah,
there's one right here.
Yeah, because see, I'm standing right here in this area.
So you would have been right here if you were.
No, we got like that.
He's in now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I don't get paid enough for this. I have my phone. Okay. I'm gonna get jumped over a sandwich. Like,
In her account, Gardner describes a gradual escalation, a customer complaint that leads to objects being thrown, and the decision to carry the firearm throughout the confrontation. She maintains that she attempted to disengage and that the shots were fired as warnings. However, her own statements place the weapon within the conflict well before the critical moment. From a psychological perspective, the sequence reflects an impulsive response driven by a perceived loss of control, rather than a clearly defined immediate threat. The situation is shaped by accumulated stress, direct confrontation, and perceived challenge. In that state,
And shorty, is this a bonnet? Like, I know you gotta cover your head, but why you wearing your bonnet at work, shorty? At work, shorty? Not the bonbon at work, shorty. Come on, shorty. You gotta do better than that. Yeah, I know you don't want. I know you gotta wear a net to cover your hair anyway, but the bonbon?
firearm stops functioning as a last resort and becomes an active part of Gardner's emotional response.
Giving me a hard time.
I know, it's always me.
It is.
It wasn't me this time. I'm gonna start calling you every time I need
every time I meet you somewhere other than Dakota?
I be so mad.
You're always mad at Dakota, and everywhere else you have a great time.
Cause this is crazy.
What happened?
Okay, so we went through the drive-thru to order food. She got the order wrong. Like, I'm talking. I wasn't even ratchet this time. I was talking calm to her. Literally, like I was literally talking. I was like, okay, you missed the burger, or whatever. So she got mad. I guess she was already. When fast food you get aggravated working. Literally. So she slammed the window in our face. She was like, I don't get paid enough for this.
And she keep on saying I don't get paid enough for this shit. So she been saying that.
Yes, he did his bid.
You already back out?
He said that was Bunte already.
He know them. This is a small town. They all know each other.
Yeah, so we was telling her like she missed those ... So she threw a drink at a car. She threw the drink. Can you shut up?
She decided it as we were leaving right here.
She threw
as he eats the McDonald's that this whole situation is about. He's still eating a chicken sandwich right now.
Drink at the car. So and it hit me. So yes, the employee. She threw the drink at her. So I did. I got out the car and I threw it back at her. Or whatever. So then yes, it's everywhere.
Charmaine said, I just saw a body cam interrogation video yesterday of a girl trying to say she took somebody. She shot somebody in self-defense at McDonald's when it wasn't. Why did you leave and come back? Facts. Exactly. You leave and come back, it's not self-defense. That's actually premeditated. It's worse if you left to go get the gun and came back. Premeditated. Your ass is fucked.
The whole car is wet. And the inside. Yeah, go.
Then she came outside.
See, it's like all this right here.
Big body movie.
Oh my God, that man got to do his job. Yeah. The back seat wet, all that is wet. Where they sitting.
More bonnet. Another bonnet. Come on, man. At least she hide in the back. She didn't want to be seen.
Didn't y'all get splashed?
Really wet. All of us.
You want to feel my pants?
No, you can see it. It's all over her.
No, I can see the spots right there and there.
Yeah.
Like right in the middle and then closer towards your hip.
Yeah. She threw that, and I threw the drink back at her.
Very hydrated or just very soaked?
Retarded.
Hydrated.
So when she did that,
the guy next to you, did he get wet too?
Go what? No, he was in close fire. It was just all of us on this side.
Oh yeah, cause
and then when she threw it, it hit her too.
They just hit us.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
but
big
when she threw the drink, I
ain't even see his ass in there. I ain't even see the nigga in there. How big Shorty is. Shorty blocked that nigga. I ain't even know he was hidden. Look, before he said something, I ain't even know that nigga was there. Did y'all know that nigga was there?
Retarded.
Hydrated.
I guess you can see the leg. Yeah, you can see the leg over there. You can see it if you really look.
So when she did that,
and you know he's there. Now that we know he's there, you can see the leg.
When she retarded, and I threw the
then closer towards your hip.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, cause she
And then when she
on
threw
this
it and
side.
hit her out to throw it, she was already in her bag grabbing all of us on this side.
Oh yeah, cause she
and then when
on
she
this
threw it
side.
and hit her too.
They just hit us.
He said he's being too silent. Yeah, but he ain't got warrants or something. Nigga got warrants or something. Why he ain't talking? He was over there dumb quiet, thinking he wasn't seen. Nigga, fuck that.
Yeah, but when she threw the drink, I did throw one back at her because why you throwing drinks? And then as like I went to throw it, she was already in her bag grabbing her gun.
Whose drink is this?
That's her. And then when we was pulling off, well, you know, we talked
So the lady inside pulled her gun?
yes, with the bonnet. She pulled her. We don't have no weapons, so why do you get one? So then when we was pulling off, she was right here waiting for us to come around the corner. She was waiting on us.
Okay.
And then she was like saying little slick, pointing the gun in the car, like pointing the gun like this. So we got right
At
here.
the car or in the car?
No, like this. Like she wasn't in there, but she was like this. So when we got right here, she was talking. We stopped and we was we're going back and forth. Then she shot up in the whatever she shot because it's dark. So clearly she shot at the car because that's the bullet. Twice.
Ooh, twice.
Wait, it hit the car?
Yeah, it hit the car on the other side. It's on the side.
It's right here. Oh yeah.
That's shooting at a dweller. That's shooting at a motherfucking. That's a crime right there. Shooting at a moving vehicle, like shooting at a vehicle, like that's a crime. Yeah. That's she fucked.
Whatever. Right there.
Wow, these with occupants. It's like how many people was in the car? That's attempt murder times like 4, nigga. Attempt murder, 4 counts of attempt murder.
Stop. You said don't touch it. No, none of this was not here before.
What about your
Oh yeah, this was here. But this right here was not there.
How many times did she shoot?
Twice. And then we ducking it, and I'm like, well, damn.
What wasn't there, nigga? The bullet ain't make your door frame bent, shorty.
You sure she shot up?
That's why I said she had to shoot at the car. Didn't you say she shot at the car, Keyshawn? Yes, she shot at the car.
She was standing with the gun. Was she standing on that side?
She was right here. She was right here. Zoom.
So you're driving this way?
We right here. Exactly where this car, that's what we was, but this way.
Right.
Facing
That's
this
so like
way.
you're
Yeah.
Okay.
So
she's
it
on the
hit
driver's
this car.
side.
Yes.
So,
It hit this side.
She popped it up and then it came back down. And hit
I don't
the
know
car?
if she popped it up or shot directly at it. However you. Like, bitch, you was trying to take one of our lives. Buki.
You was trying to take one of our lives.
This one, that makes more sense. So he said they went through a drive.
Eddie said, I never engage with the police unless they engage me. Yeah, that's how I go.
That's when she threw the drink. Then when they came around is when she came out the front door.
Yes, and she was literally waiting. It was her and the girl in the purple.
Y'all said she went right back in?
Well, not when they're on duty. A lot of the people I service, a lot of the families I service be law enforcement. I ain't gonna lie. I'm getting to know a lot of police now because of my job. But yeah, typically when they in uniform, when they on duty type shit, yeah, I don't really engage with them.
Yeah, as soon as she said she heard us say we finna call the police on your ass. All of them weren't there. Same thing.
So when you threw the drink, did you throw it from the inside or did you?
I opened my door and threw that way.
But that's after she threw it at you.
Hell yeah! I ain't doing first to you. Louis, L-E-W-I-S.
Don't open it up. I came back to you. Because who open it like that like you?
The one in the middle got a drink thrown on her too.
Yeah. She told me she took this damn plate off. I know she took Drake on this whole time.
We have the 28 on the street.
Of course, they was talking to us, so we talked.
I just gotta ask that, like, do we have any 28s on this call yet?
With the customer's statements, the incident shifts from an individual account to a clash of perceptions. For them, the confrontation does not end with a verbal exchange, but intensifies once they realize Gardner was already armed while the dispute continued. This introduces two central questions. What psychological threshold Gardner crossed to interpret the situation as dangerous enough to justify gunfire, and why she was carrying a firearm while performing her job duties. A decision that shaped every reaction that followed. A confirmed impact on the vehicle moves the analysis from the emotional to the material, forcing an evaluation of whether the use of the weapon was driven by immediate necessity or by an escalation enabled by prior access to a lethal means.
Right. She just knew she had the gun.
I want to make sure I don't use your business, so give me a second.
Is there anybody that can stay somewhere there so I can make contact with?
Yep. Okay. You got it? Right there? We'll get the tape.
She's going to stay put with you just for a moment. I have to come back.
Where is he? Can he come over here? Yeah, he's gonna come over here.
Okay, so, all right, I already know. It's just hang on. We're doing an active investigation right now, okay? Just, he don't have to leave or nothing. He can wait for you. It's not a big deal. Okay. Just kind of keep him, let's keep everybody separate for now, okay? Okay. So, don't worry, I'm making sure you're okay, all right? Okay. You said you found one for sure?
Found one.
Right here.
He said he found one for sure.
There's 6 on there.
I don't know, but I'm gonna make contact with them and I can.
So it's almost the same story, except for she said as she was leaving, that's when she fired.
So I'm gonna clarify with her to see if she aimed up or what, but. Okay. All right.
They found a bullet hole in the car. She ain't
Hey, are there any casings nearby before we start stepping around?
We have one in the bush here, but we're not sure where the other one is. There's supposed to be 2 apparently.
You want to put this over the sign?
Vehicle has 1.
Vehicle has at least 1 pole on it.
You're talking about it by the passenger
door? Yeah.
They just ignored this shorty right here. She over here saying something. He ignored the shit out of her when the niggas started talking.
Where the other one is. There's supposed to be 2 apparently.
You want to put this over the sign?
Vehicle has 1.
He ignored the hell out of her, dog. See, these are the downfalls of owning a franchise. Moron shuts down revenue. Facts. You right.
Every time they go out.
Y'all losing money tonight because your manager shooting at niggas. How your manager shooting at customers? They making me want McDonald's, dog. I'm trying not to order that shit on Uber.
First one's at?
Somewhere back here, they found one. Yeah, that's how I was thinking where the projectiles. I was thinking one landed on top of the bushes, but no.
She said she heard it hit the concrete, so.
Both of them?
She said she heard at least one of them hit the concrete.
They said 2 shots.
Yeah, we got one in the bushes, and then she's saying.
Where were they at when they got hit? That's what I don't know how well. Yeah. We're gonna have to block off the service. I'm trying to find out what's up. I guess we're gonna have to do an individual, but I don't want one. I usually flash back. Have we completely verified the video? You said I think it was there? Not verified. And their story, well, this is a different
time of her throwing the drink at the car, halfway everybody got the damn car, threw their drink. She ended up getting another drink, threw another drink at the car. So then I got out the car and I walked to the window, pulled it, threw my drink at her, and let her know, don't be throwing nothing at my car because that's my car. I don't care what.
Oh shit! So she opened up the door and threw the drink at the lady.
But nobody else got going on, that is my car. I'll pay the car notes on that. So whatever you got going on with them, that's y'all business. So then we end up getting ready to leave. She already beat us out the door. We thinking she's still in the inside. We got our food or whatever. In case maybe pissed off. Getting ready to leave, she decided to come outside and shoot. We literally get right here at the stop sign.
As officers document the scene and establish physical reference points, the case begins to separate from subjective interpretation. The location of the shots and the observed damage allow for a more precise reconstruction and limit alternative explanations regarding direction and intent. At the same time, the primary victim's statement adds a key behavioral element. The conflict did not arise from a single act of aggression, but from accumulated frustration and verbal exchanges that escalated without effective interruption. Within that context, Gardner's reaction appears less tied to imminent.
She don't even have spills on her shirt, so niggas didn't even catch her with the drink. She didn't even take a drink to the face of none.
Danger and more to a progressive loss of control during the confrontation.
Right, the stop sign. So you seen her? Where'd you see her at when you were pulling around the
when we was pulling around, she had to came out though. She was standing right there by the little bush.
The bush next to the
by the little car that was right there.
Okay.
She was standing by the little car. We ended up driving off. She fired 2 shots. Me thinking she fired in the air. She did not fire in the air. She literally shot at my car. We literally pulled over at this apartment complex. I got out the car, walked around my car, all of us looking and seeing that she hit my car, and then I called for y'all. All over on Mac Chicken.
You said you...
All over on Mac Chicken.
Walked around your car and you what?
See, these are the downfalls.
I walked around my car to see, if I could see in the bullet holes, and yeah, she hit it.
And you came right back?
And came right back.
And
I was on the phone with the police.
Okay. And when this happened, you said you were in fear for your life?
Yeah, because what you shooting at my car for? Nobody bothering you. Nobody chasing after you. Nobody coming at you. We're leaving. You shouldn't be fear for your life. Why pull a gun out if you're not fear for your life?
You know how, facts, they should be watching the video footage, but you know how McDonald's and these franchises is, they can't even play the video back right there on hand. They gotta, go through corporate to get the video sent. You know what I mean? It ain't even, you know how it is. You know how these franchises is. Because it's a franchise and, a lot of times you can't just go through the footage. I know some places you can't. Some places you can. You can always just roll back the footage and shit and see what's going on. But some places it's not as easy. You gotta go through this, go through that, get it sent by email, and you know what I mean?
Right. Okay. And when
if we leaving, why you outside if you on the clock? Cause you can't take what nobody say out their mouth.
Did you see what color gun there was, or you didn't see the gun?
No, I didn't see the gun at all.
You were...
Yeah, we was literally leaving.
Okay. And for the record, do you want to be a victim in this case?
Yeah.
Okay.
She better not playing with Jesus and playing with me.
Okay.
If it was some food being thrown, okay, cool. But a gun, baby, I don't play like that. I got kids.
And when she shot, you said you heard 2 shots?
Yeah, she fired twice.
And were you hit out of those 2 shots?
No, my car was hit.
Okay. All right.
Betty Sue over there, she was hit.
Okay. You said
Betty Sue?
Betty Sue.
Betty Sue.
That's my car.
Okay. Okay. All right, ma'am. Is there any information that you might want to tell me?
No.
Okay. This concludes this tape statement at 01:44 hours. Okay. I got some victims' rights paperwork for you. I'm gonna give you a credit.
You're scared. Dave, what's the word, my honey? How we feeling, gang? Yeah? How we feeling, my boy? Shorty just about to go to jail for assault with a deadly weapon ×4 over a Mac Chicken, bro. McChicken. All over McChicken, dog. And I could go for a McChicken right now.
When the victim recounts the moments after the shots were fired, a critical distinction emerges between perceived intent and actual effect. Initially, the shots are interpreted as warnings, but that assessment changes upon discovering the impact on the vehicle. The fear expressed becomes grounded in a tangible outcome, reinforcing victim status and shifting the focus toward the proportionality and necessity of the firearm's use.
So whenever they were pulling off, and you said the other workers saw them stopping right here, how come you came out of the store?
I was pulling him back in because that's when they was arguing.
You were pulling him back in?
I said, come on, Darius, let's go. Like, because he's our grill person.
So then what happened after you pulled him back in? You came back out?
No, he still was arguing. That's when they pulled over there, I guess. Because I had stepped back in. Like, I don't know what happened between from the time they was right here. But I know he was still, both of them, her and him was still at that window, at the door.
Just so you know, like, the lobby was closed, so people were locked, just us. Now we can't go in.
And the doors were locked, correct?
Yeah.
How come you didn't stay in?
Right.
I stopped and pulled him in. That's when.
Nah, that don't make no sense. So the lobby was closed. You came out. You was safe in there. You was safe. You never had to come outside. You was safe the whole time because the doors to the McDonald's was closed. Plus, they never even fucking got all the way out to run at you.
They started getting out the car right there.
And why didn't you go back in once you watched them go back in?
Because they started approaching me. Because I was going to get ready to go. My car is right here. I was going to get ready to go. I realized I didn't have my key. That's what made me even go back outside. They came back.
So you pulled your friend in, the other coworker.
Yeah, but he did not come in.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't come in.
And then that's when they started approaching as you
Yeah,
were
that's when
in.
they parked right there and then they started getting out the car. My car is right here.
And you didn't want to go back inside?
No, because I was going to go home.
Okay.
They wouldn't have knew that was your car anyway.
So, at what point after that were the shots fired?
Like, when I came back.
Hold on, before we get there. Walk me through how you came to have the gun in your hand.
Because I keep my gun literally right here. My bag is in my bag all the time. I grab my bag because I'm going to go.
Okay.
So, come on, get back in here. Like, I was saying, I was going to stay, but I was like, no, I'm not going to stay because it was already a heated situation. Yeah. So, I was going to, he's still arguing with them. I'm going to go because I came right here. I realized I didn't have my key. That's when they got out of the car. They was standing right here, him and
when you realized you didn't have your key,
I was coming back in. That's when they was getting out.
So when you realized you didn't have your key, you went back inside, then came back out.
Yes.
And
I had got my key. They were still out there.
And you got your key. Did you grab your gun while you got your key too?
I already had my gun because it was in my bag. My key wasn't in my bag.
What I'm asking is, how come you didn't stay inside if you saw them coming?
Because I'm gonna go home.
Why would you not stay inside? Let them leave.
It was sitting right there by like where we keep our iPods and stuff.
Do you normally keep it there or in your bag?
No, I guess I took it out when I had took my charger out because had asked me to get my charger and it was tangled up on my charger. Yeah, so I just set it down because my bag was like, it was like, I had to show you this.
Okay, so then after that you got your key. You walked out this way?
Yes, walked out this way.
And then what did they do?
They were still right there. I made them leave. That's why I didn't know they was.
I know you about to lock ass up.
Gardner reconstructs her final movements and provides details that complete the framework of the case. She explains that she intended to leave, but the lack of immediate access to her vehicle kept her at the scene longer than planned, extending contact with the customers even after the situation had escalated. She also acknowledges that no employee contacted 911 to request police assistance, a significant omission given an active conflict involving a firearm. When asked what prompted her to shoot, Gardner states that she was attempting to stop the customer's advance and force them to leave, confirming a coercive objective rather than a purely defensive one. Afterward, she chose to remain at the restaurant and assist her coworker, concluding a sequence marked by individual decisions in the absence of effective de-escalation protocols.
She gonna be one of the ugliest bitches in the child line.
You see that? Alright, put your hands behind your back. Just like that. Like you're praying. So right now you're going to jail for aggravated assault?
You should know that. With a deadly weapon. Why is it aggravated assault and not attempt murder? She shot at them niggas in the car. Like, she attempted to kill. Right? Let me know if I'm wrong. Should be attempt murder in my opinion.
Alright. Let's go to my car over there.
Okay. Over there?
Can I get 1093, officer?
No. I'm not with it.
She already talked. She already gave a statement. Come on, we. Don't give a statement. She already did. When you get there, don't talk. Don't give a statement. Nigga, she already did. Getting that up.
Oh, they got it. But you could get it.
Stand right now.
Yes, sir.
This officer's going to search you, okay?
Here's the car, please.
Hey, did you want your phone to go with
apart? A little bit more than that, please.
Do you want your phone to go with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, everything's gonna focus.
Whose car is this?
Oh, no.
Mine.
I just got my AirPods in my pocket. Huh? Yeah, give it to him.
Alright, don't do no more. I give it to him.
No, I just got that in my pocket. That's fine.
I knew she was going to jail. Let's see for how long.
Yeah, just
for how long.
Man, just have a seat.
Within Florida's criminal justice statements compared the collected and with the evidence collected and the statements compared, the case is formally placed within Florida's criminal justice system. Chastity Janasia Gardner was arrested and charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, a third-degree felony, after investigators determined that shots were fired and that at least one struck the customer's vehicle. Gardner would be transported to the Polk County Jail and later released on a $15,000 bond.
And McDonald's checks hitting.
The case remains pending, and if convicted, she faces a potential sentence of up to 5 years in prison, 5 years of probation, and a fine of up to $5,000, with the court tasked with deciding whether the use of the firearm constituted lawful self-defense or an avoidable escalation of an everyday dispute.
Stupid. 6 years. Sheesh. 5 years with probably 1 year probation, nigga. That's about 6 years. How are teens? 2 month manhunt ends in 5 seconds. Nah, well, I don't feel like watching that. Goddamn. What happened with the verses? It went off already, right? Who won? Man attacks blind woman on his 44th crime. What the hell? Man attacks blind woman as his 44th crime. Less than I thought.
Alright. I got an ambulance coming to check you out. Can you see out of your left eye?
My left.
For the most part, you alright?
My head is like bruised here. I got lumps.
You got lumps all over, brother.
He was punching me around the glass. It started with that lady there. Mine. He was punching her first.
Alright, I'm gonna check on her quick. I'll be right back with you. Hey, man. I know, I got an ambulance coming for you.
I'm okay.
Ma'am,
you just punched me in the face.
I'm a police officer. I'm gonna touch your forehead, okay? I just wanna move your hair. Okay. Alright, so you got some cuts on your face. You feeling dizzy, lightheaded, anything like that?
My mouth hurts. I think he knocked one of my teeth out.
Okay, can you open your mouth for me? Yeah, you do have a little blood in your mouth. Okay, I have an ambulance coming to talk to you, man. What happened?
There was a man sitting next to me, and all of a
Find her tooth. God damn, man.
sudden, I heard him fuss.
Yo, he did that to a blind woman, bro. This nigga deserved the death penalty, boy.
Met these two ladies in the back calling them bitches and saying all kind of nasty things about him, and that made me angry. So I turned to him and told him to not do that, and then he just swung on me.
Okay. So you told him not to fuss at the ladies in the back, and he just hauled off and hit you?
I said, don't talk to her like that. And then he started yelling at me, and then he hit me, and then he
went to go get off the bus, and the door was shut, so we started wailing on the driver. From my understanding, I didn't see that part because I'm blind, but I heard it.
I have an ambulance coming to talk to you. Just sit tight, okay? Did all y'all see this?
Yes.
Good deal. Do you mind hanging out for just a minute? I'm gonna have to talk to everyone if you're okay with it. You're not held here. If you guys want to leave, just let me know so I can talk to you really quick before I go. I got a lot to do before I go. I'm gonna have an ambulance to come check them both out first. Is anybody else injured?
No.
Nobody else is injured?
No.
Okay.
I was sitting right here.
Yep.
He jumped up right there where you sit there and kicked the devil out of me.
So you were sitting right here?
I was sitting right here. He jumped up and took his foot and he kicked me.
Kicked you? How many times did he kick you?
He kicked me about one time. He kicked me hard. Yeah, he kicked me. They said, you better shut the f up. I'll knock your ass out. He jumped up and grabbed the man off of him.
So you essentially saw him fussing at them. He jumps up and starts wailing on her. That's when you stepped in and grabbed him.
When he jumped over there in her face.
That's when he jumped up and grabbed her.
Yeah.
When he jumped up and started hitting her, was he hitting her with closed fists? Or could you see
He brought me down. Bam.
Yep, over
He
that.
got down.
What happened from your perspective?
Well, I saw him punching the lady right there, the blind lady. He was punching her in the face. I don't know what was going on, but she said something to him. He came over and started punching her in the face, punching me out. And I'm watching this, so I got on the radio. He saw I wouldn't open the door, so he wanted me to open the door. He was trying to get through the glass, he couldn't, so he ripped the glass off.
So that was separating you from the passengers, right? Yeah. And he pulled it and just started attacking you?
Yeah.
Physically? Was he, I know it sounds like a dumb question, was he hitting you with closed fists?
Yeah.
Punching you? And he just wanted to be let off, essentially? That's why he went to attacking you?
Yeah. I was almost unconscious. I had to let him off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, you know.
Is there any way we can start working on getting these cameras up? What'd this guy look like?
Okay, he had on tan pair pants, tan long sleeve shirt, like a long john shirt, a blue.
That's right. Yeah, y'all tell this nigga is committing the work like a horrible crime, bro. Beating a blind lady. Nah, get his ass in jail.
And his hand said Savannah. Yeah, he got gold in his mouth. Well, he real nasty.
He's a nice looking gentleman, but he got just something wrong.
Thank you, guys. Any y'all on the bus?
Yeah, we all go.
Good deal.
I'm sitting back here.
Yep.
I heard that little lady right there was saying he stepped on her foot or something. She kept saying, well, you could have said, excuse me or something. So he kept on. So finally he started using profanity. And he stood up and he was cursing her. And he kept acting like he might was going to hit her or stuff. So, you know, everybody's scared. So I didn't know that the other lady was blind who he hit. So he kept telling her to stay out of it. So finally she said one more thing and he just went to beating on her. So the driver, I thought maybe he was trying to hold him in there so y'all might come and catch him in there. So he got mad. He kept saying, open this door, open this door. He went back and he tore the whole thing. He just pulled the whole thing right back and was trying to pull him from out of there or whatever. Then we scared he might have a gun.
Yeah.
So finally when that door got open, he jumped out and ran.
So the driver is ag-back. His eyes are swelling shut. This dude straight up tore the dividing partition off to physically attack him. Beat the shit out of a blind woman. Lacerations all over her face. After physically assaulting another elderly female in here, was wrestled to the ground by the gentleman in the high visibility vest. The driver tried to keep the guy on the bus so we could get here and take him into custody. And that's when the dude just ripped the partition off and went to town. He was like, I was losing consciousness.
Shout out to the bus driver and the nigga in the high visibility vest for trying to help, bro.
So I finally just let him out. I got to get pictures of him. If you could work with Kat on getting video footage, if you could talk to female in the black here and the blue right here, that'd be
Alright, I'll get their statements, I'll get their information, I'll do supplemental, okay?
Do you mind if I grab a picture of your face to document your injuries if you don't mind? Is that okay?
That's what you have to do.
I do. You're pretty busted up.
Are y'all working on getting camera footage? Yeah, we can pull it.
You said the blind woman things, LOL, ha. What, nigga, what? I'm saying like he beat up the blind woman. That's fucked up, though.
We're calling the safety manager because he can get it immediately.
Do you mind if I take some photographs of your injuries?
Yeah, but can I go somewhere else?
Yes. Where do you want to go?
Anywhere.
Do you want to go sit at the rear of my car, away from everyone?
Yes,
we can bring you out there. You may want to go the other way. They got broken glass on the ground over here.
I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, I hope you'll be all right. God bless you for all hope. Yeah. God bless you.
While police are getting all the information they can about the suspect, they have no idea he's still in the area just a few blocks away.
Well, everyone's out here looking for him, so what did you see? What happened?
He's starting to beating the white lady. Can't stop bleeding, and I gave her a lot of napkins. I'm sorry, is that normal?
No.
Okay.
Not normal. That's
scary.
This will be my first. I've been here 5 years.
That's really scary because blood everywhere.
I'm all bloody, you know. I'm gonna get blood on stuff.
You're okay. My main concern is if you want to be more comfortable back here, that's fine with me. I'm gonna go ahead and turn up the air for you. I'm not gonna shut you in. I know it gets a little claustrophobic back here. How you doing, man?
All right. Thank you for coming.
Sorry I wasn't sooner, but thank you for sticking around and taking care of her. I still have ambulances coming for you both. Do you mind if I photograph your injuries now?
Sure.
Any point did you feel like you were gonna lose consciousness?
I don't know. It was kind of a blur when she started hitting me, but I didn't.
Bro, this is fucked up. This is one of the, you can't even believe a nigga just like really not only a woman but a blonde woman, like, bro,
fall down or anything.
Okay. You have a pretty good laceration right below your left eye. This is gonna sound like a real dumb question. If we can find him, do you want to press charges or battery?
I don't know. I don't think so. The other people said it seemed like he was on drugs or having a mental health issue. I don't know. I don't really feel like that's going to help anybody.
Okay. So this is what I'll tell you.
Nah, press charges on that nigga.
Is if you don't want to press charges and they don't want to press charges, he's probably not going to get arrested. If you do want to press charges, it's not something that's going to require you to go to court all the time or do anything like that. We handle that.
He attacked the bus driver, and that's unsafe for everyone.
Absolutely. He severely injured the bus driver, okay? And he could have severely injured you more so than you are, or injured other people on that bus. And regardless of drugs or mental health, there's a way we have to act in public. And usually arrest is in the first step in getting some of that help.
Well, I won't be able to ID him, but if everyone else can, then I would consider pressing charges. I don't really know how any of this works.
There's no pressure at all. Right now, my main concern is I want to get you medically cared for. Again, you're free to leave at any point. If you say, bring me home, I don't want to talk to you guys anymore, I'll do that, okay? We're probably going to have a detective come out and investigate this one because the bus driver's pretty injured.
I like him. I know him. He drives me home every day.
So he seems like a very nice guy. Seems like.
Wow, I like him. I know him. He drives me home every day. Bro, come on, man.
He was looking out for you, and everyone on the bus was trying to look out for each other. Are you okay with waiting back here for just a minute? I'll come back and check on you, okay?
Yeah, I'm good. You've been very kind. Just so you guys know, I can't see a daggone thing.
I know, you're good. Hang tight. I'll leave this door open for you.
Police are now able to obtain the surveillance footage of the attack. The suspect is seen yelling at the elderly woman and getting in her face before the blind woman says something to him. He then gets in her face very quickly as if he's going to assault her, then stands up to defend herself, and the suspect begins hitting her repeatedly. The man with the high visibility vest then tackles the suspect, bringing him to the front near the bus driver. The suspect then notices the bus driver calling for police using his radio and tries to force him to open the door so he can leave. When the bus driver refuses, the suspect begins yanking on and reaching around the glass partition to force the driver to open the door. The suspect then completely destroys the glass partition and begins beating the bus driver, punching him 10 times before the driver has to oblige him, due to him later saying he was about to lose consciousness. The suspect then leaves the scene. An officer now locates the suspect a couple blocks away from the crime scene and attempts to detain him.
Listen, I've been cool with you, man. I'm gonna ask you to stand up though, turn around, put your hands behind your back real quick.
What I did?
We gotta figure some things out, okay?
What for what?
We got a call that came down. Description very well matches you. It probably isn't you, but we have to figure some stuff out. So,
man, listen, I just walked.
Savannah hat, blue cap, Savannah. Just open the door, man. Let them do their job, right?
Up here. I didn't do shit.
Up from where?
I just walked up here from this way. It got me.
I got you. I've seen like about 4 other guys wearing beige. So we're gonna be a quick 1-2, figure it out, and then we'll be done, man.
Figure it out, man. I mean, I just had to stand up with my hand behind, but I didn't do nothing.
I got you, but that's why we got to figure it out. So it's just gonna be a brief detention, all right, man?
I didn't do nothing. So why you put your hands on me, man?
Listen,
I didn't do nothing, man. I just walked up here.
Here's how it's gonna happen. I'm asking you.
I didn't do nothing. So what you asking me?
Can I say something?
Sure.
So how can, if you say y'all seen other guys with beige description,
they're being stopped as well. They ain't the only. He ain't the only one.
Well, I ain't seen nobody stop but me. That's not about to happen.
I understand that, but dude, we have a job we have to do. Okay?
You have a job, but I didn't do nothing, man. So what you mean? I got to put my hand behind my back until you figure something out. Go ahead and figure it out.
That's how this works.
It's not how it works.
We got.
I just walked up.
Proper description.
And how you know it's me?
Well, I didn't say it was you.
So what the f you talking about putting my hand behind my back for?
Listen, brother. Yeah, just calm down.
I am calm, but you can't now.
I got you. So
I didn't do nothing. I just walked up here.
With gold teeth, right?
Walked up here.
I got you.
33 Alpha 1.
Like I said, I'm asking you nicely to help us out to make the situation
I'm not helping
go.
you out.
33
I didn't do
Alpha,
nothing.
you're going to be out.
Tase.
So again, what happens when I ask and it doesn't happen? Like you don't help us out here, right? We're gonna have to use force.
Use force? You mean you gonna use force?
Like I'm saying,
Dude, he got to do
we're trying to figure out an incident.
And you gonna have to figure it out. But you ain't got nothing to do with me. So you have to figure it out.
Like I'm saying, we're going to briefly detain you.
You ain't about to briefly detain shit, because I didn't do shit. So that's not about to happen.
Call for backup, nigga.
You not about to
right, send backup. As soon as I said it right as you was right, it came through.
detain nothing, man. But I didn't do nothing. I just walked up here.
I said, man, I'm giving you a lot of chances.
You ain't giving me no chances, man. How you giving me some chances? I just walked up here. You gonna tell me to put my hands behind my back for nothing? You.
Yeah.
Put my hand behind my back for nothing. I ain't do shit. What? I ain't do shit. So what the hell you talking about?
I don't want to do this.
But now I'm not putting my hand behind my back on shit. I didn't do shit, nigga. The f you talking about, nigga?
When y'all the title, what y'all gonna do?
You ain't about to stand. Nah, ain't no, he ain't gotta stand. Nothing.
I'm trying to figure it out,
you ain't gotta be part of nothing. Hey man, don't run up on me. I ain't do shit.
I was just trying to inform you that 36 and 33 is out with that subject.
The right hand.
36 Alpha 1, start me another unit down here and possibly a supervisor for
Man, yeah, see supervisor. Cause I ain't even.
I'll be in
I just walked up here. And you gonna grab me and tell me I'm under arrest for nothing?
Bro, for a blonde woman getting beat, dog, the supervisor should have been here already. Oh, we got him. We spotted him. Supervisor should have pulled up.
He's good. He's good.
Hey man, if you gonna get
just let
off me, man.
I got this. Switch.
I'm gonna ask you one more time to get off me.
Got it.
Okay. Lift your leg.
That light up out here.
33, we got him detained.
Did you get off the cat bus after getting out of Gateway? Okay. Well, like I said, we're trying to figure it out, and you being aggressive towards us.
Aggressive.
When I'm asking you to do simple things, you just walked up here from where?
From the damn I don't fucking know.
How'd your hands get all torn up?
I just came up here. I ain't do nothing. I just walked up here. They pull up saying I fit the description or something. I just walked up here.
You want to set him up?
Come on, brother. Set up for me.
They got him in custody pretty easy.
Why do you have to do this?
I ain't do shit. What the f you talking about?
Why didn't you just like listen when I was talking to you about what we were doing?
Bro, how you gonna pull up on me and tell me I fit the description on something that I just walked up there?
You think I would just make that up?
The suspect is now transported to the hospital for the use of force, where he still isn't cooperative.
He ain't no. Why he going to the hospital, dog? He ain't get hurt. Ain't nothing happen.
Let's go. I'm ready to go.
Jumping in, broken, you get knocked out.
I never get knocked out. Okay. Never.
Sit down. Dude.
Never. Never. I'm about
in the car.
Yeah, he need to be knocked out because he need to be humble. Talking about he ain't never been knocked out.
You doing all that with that bag? You cuss on me. You won't ever do this. Cuss on me. I promise you that.
Do it either way.
Light up out, foot your ass, though. Yeah, I'll never get knocked out. Never. What the f you gonna do?
This incident took place in Chatham County, Georgia, in June 2025 on a Chatham area transit bus, also known as a CAT bus. The arrested suspect, 40-year-old Brandon Collier, has a lengthy criminal history involving 43 prior arrests in Chatham County dating all the way back to 2002 for crimes such as aggravated battery, aggravated assault, drug possession, obstruction, resisting, terroristic threats, and cruelty to children. In fact, just months prior to the bus attack, Brandon was arrested for threatening victims while holding an upside-down liquor bottle as a weapon in public, which led to him fighting Savannah police officers when they confronted him. For that incident,
So how was he even out?
He was charged with 2 counts of felony willful obstruction by threats or violence, simple battery, terroristic threats, possession of drug-related objects, and probation violation. He was able to bond out of jail and was released back into the public. Due to this incident, along with his many prior arrests, the bus attack sparked public outrage in the area as local officials, including the mayor of Savannah, condemned the attack. Officials from CAD also released statements saying they were deeply disturbed by the attack and that safety protocols would be reviewed and improved following the attack. They have since ordered new safety shields for the CAT buses and are in the beginning stages of upgrading their training for bus drivers. They also announced that this kind of behavior will not be tolerated and have terminated Brandon's rider privileges indefinitely. Following the bus attack, Brandon was charged with 2 counts of felony aggravated assault, 2 counts of felony aggravated battery, felony exploitation and intimidation of a disabled adult or elderly person, felony second-degree criminal damage to property, and 2 counts of obstruction. In October 2025, Brandon took a plea deal for both the bus incident and the incident where he threatened people with a liquor bottle and fought police. He pleaded guilty to 1 count of aggravated battery, 1 count of aggravated assault, exploitation and intimidation of a disabled or elderly person, second-degree criminal damage to property, 1 count of willful obstruction by threats or violence, and terroristic threats, while all other charges were dismissed. Brandon was then sentenced to 10 years in prison and 10 years of probation, and was sentenced as a repeat offender, meaning he must serve the prison portion without parole eligibility. The victims, while they both survived, suffered serious and disfiguring injuries to their faces, and multiple of her teeth appeared to be chipped or broken. She and the bus driver were taken to the hospital and treated for their injuries. They have since made a lengthy and arduous recovery.
You know what's scary? That shit was crazy, dog. Dude was a bug out for real. Like that, like dude was really a fucking bug out, bro. Like, come on, man. What is you on, boy? Tweaking, my mans. Tweaking, my mans. She was probably on the homepage. I'm gonna get up off this, though. I got a meeting in the morning. Yo, it's 12. I might have to get up off this. Nasty. It was good macking with y'all boys, though. You know what I'm saying? We be back on here live. We be back on here probably tomorrow night. You know what I'm saying? I'll see y'all tomorrow, the next day. Y'all know how that shit go. I'm off this nasty, my boys.